Truth, justice, and the Big Sil's way. Can it get any better with Turkey Day and football this week? Can it get any better? This week, truth, justice, and the Big Sil's way. This is the only show that you get truth, justice, and the Big Sil's way. Rest of those shows are all bullshit artists. You got Xander going, I beat Big Sil. Yeah, everybody beats Big Sil's up. Okay, everybody beats him up. How you doing? How you doing? I look Italian now. Look at Sue. Oh, Sue. Sue's disappointed because I took the face hair off. How you doing? Oh, man. Look at this. Sills is trying to recover. I destroyed him on his own show. How dare you say that? That you destroyed me on my own show. By the way, all supers go to the top. By the way, the next 4 hours of the program is powered by our friends at BetUS. Please go to their website. Make sure you click it on. First 15 minutes, when it comes to likes, do me a favor. Click it. It helps expand the show, and all supers go to the top, just like Flexin. He goes right to the top. Sills, you look crazy. Funny, my daughter said that last night. She's like, you look crazy. What do you mean I look crazy? What are you talking about? I take a little facial hair off and Big Sills looks crazy? Really? Okay. Sills looks 76 years old. Mr. Perez, now I know you mean 26. Now I know you mean I look 26. Hey, Sue. Sue, I'll tell you how old I am. Sue, with the facial hair off, how young do you think I look? How young do you think I look? Look at Sue, 60. Oh, my 70. What a terrible thing to ask. I should never have asked. Hey, stop. Okay, I should never have asked that. That was the stupid thing of me. That's like when Prince asked me how tall I am. I apologize. I'll take that shit back. I shouldn't be asking anybody how young I look, okay? Sill's a new man. How you doing? 14. No, Tony. I act 14. Stills, what's your shoe size? 18. How you doing? Hey, Sue, I got an 18-foot. Oh, man. Is that a shaved turkey? Where's Dan? Oh, my God. Dude, really? Your super chat. Wait a minute. Abe's moaning. Sills hooks like took the Chiriani route. All right. Oh, that's right. The bald eagle is undefeated since he shaved his noggin. Okay. All right. Since he shaved his noggin, he's undefeated. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Prince, hey, somebody just said, Sills just shocked the shit out of me. Here's Senorita right here. Whatever the fuck this guy's got to say. Sills having a mental breakdown like Sirianni did. But you shave your face and I'm having a mental breakdown? I don't think so, man. Big Sills, just, trying. Hey, by the way, maybe you like Sirianni in a way. I'm trying to make sure one thing is consistent here. We are. And we will be once again proven right like we have been the last 4 years. Xander's in the middle of the race on November 26th and 7th. Going, yay, team! Yay, team! And so are all of you. Yay, team! Congratulations. Let me guess. What have you won? Admiration. You're showing a lot, but you haven't really won shit yet. By the way, Angelo Cataldi, the legendary Philadelphia sports talk king, will join us at 3:30 Eastern time here on this Thanksgiving week. We will have a battle royale between Mark Holmes and Philly 500. Xander is going to pretend that he beat me up on my show and take some victory laps, I think at 5 Eastern. I don't know. Whatever. We welcome it all. And we welcome you. Do me a favor. Please hit that like button. We're going to get to our topics here. Hey, by the way, we're going to listen to Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore today. We're going to comment on them. Strength and weaknesses going into this game against the Ravens. Oh, boy, do we have a topic that we're going to start the program off with Jalen Hurts here. And there's no question what the Baltimore Ravens are going to do on Sunday. All that being said, there is no question right now that the Eagles are having a difficult time coming up with ways to replace Brandon Graham. And this is going to play itself out this weekend. You don't have anybody on that team, obviously, that can replace that guy's production. If you take his production off, there's been no other edge rusher outside of Josh. And by the way, Josh was outplaying him. Josh is your best edge player. After that, you really don't have anything. Sills, Nolan Smith. I'm sorry. That guy's not a 3-down player. He's not going to kill you. Well, we'll see when his production has to ramp up and he gets more reps because it's on him. This is the big moment for him as a player. Are you going to show you're a 3-down guy or not? Personally, I think he's kind of a 3-way player. And he's only shown he's kind of a 3-way player. All right? He hasn't shown anything where he's a consistent 3-down guy yet that can set the edge. Okay? He has not. Okay? He has not shown it. So we shall see. Let's get to the first topic. Okay? Let's get to the first topic. This weekend, we're going to see dynamic football players. Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. What duo is the best? What duo is the best and playing the best ball in 2024? Who's playing the best? And get this. JAKIB is starting to sound a little bit like MSNBC. Who would you take? The Ravens or the Eagles? You would take Jalen Hurts and Barkley over Lamar Jackson. And Derrick Henry. Hey. Ravens duo. Where's Abe? Abe wants Jalen Hurts, who's done dick this year, compared to that guy, over Lamar Jackson. Really? Here's Robert. Hit the like button, guys. Barkley and Hurts, but Barkley's carrying the offense, and the mistakes made by Hurts and the coach. Sills, we are not delusional. It's Lamar and Henry, but no defense has played more consistent. It's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you what duo is the best quarterback Dual threat. Dual threat. In football, is it the Birds or the other birds, the Ravens? Who is it? I don't think there's even a real topic here. I just wanted to hear what you guys have said about it. It's Lamar and Henry, and it's a country mile of the gap between them. Lamar Jackson is having as good a year quarterbacking as Saquon Barkley's having running the ball. You know, it was a good point this morning. I forget, Xander, who you guys had on, who you guys were talking about the running attacks in today's NFL. And now you're starting to see more teams starting to run the football more. No, I know what it was. I was listening to Kellen Moore, and he was being questioned. And I heard something from Vic when he was talking about today's NFL. There is no question right now that there's been better performances by the running backs this year than by the quarterbacks. Who's really had a spectacular year throwing the ball? Lamar? Okay, Lamar. Who else? Who else has had a really great year at running the ball? By the way, all supers go to the top. I mean, right? If you look at it this year and you look at the performances this year, when it comes to rushing and it comes to the players this season, look at these numbers here. When you're looking at guys, the new host, who's this guy? Eagles, thank you. Let me see here. So here, Saquon Barkley's at 1392. Henry's at 1325. Josh Jacobs is going to run this year for 1,500 yards. He was a free agent. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to go for 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard, the kid from, I believe, Carolina, is going to go for 1,400 yards this year. I mean, is it me? But are we seeing better performances from the running backs this year? Look at even Tony Pollard in Tennessee, 1,300 yards. These are great years. Aaron Jones, Minnesota, 1,300 yards. I mean, this is the best running season I've seen probably in 15 years. Look at even Joe Mixon. He's on pace for 1,200 yards. Bijan Robinson right now is on pace. Najee is going to get $1,000. The top 10 running backs this year, and the last one is 1,300 yards, is Bijan Robinson, and he's going to have 600 yards receiving. I think the running backs this year have outplayed the quarterbacks in more teams. Now, is that going to be a trend moving forward? Is this going to be a trend moving forward, or is this a one-up? I'm going to tell you guys this, and this is one of the reasons I point this out. Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie did not pay $50 million plus to run the ball. That's not – they're winning. But to me, what happens with this mentality – you're going to have to throw the ball eventually to win a ball game. And I mean that with both Lamar and with Jalen. What has been the one thing that has gotten in Lamar Jackson's way? Well, when he's had to throw the ball multiple times, over 35 times, they lose. Every game that he's thrown for more than 35 attempts against Kansas City, he's lost. Okay? So when you get into a back and forth like that, you got to win from the pocket. Still, in my opinion, to win a Super Bowl. No matter how good the years these running backs are having this year, I still think you need to have a great passer that can throw you into a win. And I'm not sure these two guys can do that when the pressure's on. You know why? I have not seen it. I've seen Hurts have a great game. I didn't see him have a great playoff stretch. Like Nick Foles had a 10 times better stretch the year they won the Super Bowl. Jalen was not that great in that Giants game, and he wasn't that great when he was in the San Francisco game. He was great in the Super Bowl. He's not put those stretch of games together like that, and quite frankly, he has it in a year and a half. The National Football Show, new look. Same great takes. What up, Sills? Thank you very much. Yeah, I know. We got a guy in our network that is going around acting like Mike Missinelli. I'm kidding. Who? It's because teams are realizing that they can't just win by the pass alone anymore. Pound the shit out of it, then throw it. I think so, man. I absolutely do. Okay? Let's see here. I agree, Big Z. All he needs is a good-looking pair of glasses. Oh, Jesus. Now she's a fashion consultant. Ravens got a good front. Won't see how they look. We'll see how they look in the fourth quarter. Ravens haven't faced an offensive line like the Eagles. That not good to me. Vic got something for Baltimore's offense. Really? So you're going to stop Baltimore's offense. I want to see that. This is not a game to measure that. Really? Okay. What are you going to measure it then? So when you come out of this game, what's going to be your takeaways? Nothing? Still's out here looking like your younger self. You're about to sign with the Eagles. No. Hey, still a tough time putting the shoes on right now. Holy cow. Still shaves his face like Big Z now. He also has Big Z's takes. Yeah, that's what I do. I know. For 40 years, I've been taking other people's takes. That's why I've held so many prestigious gigs and not gotten canned because of other folks' takes. Correct. Yeah. Sills, what's happening now will change Laurie and Roseman's stance that a franchise quarterback is needed. Hey, that's a great take, Bob. They will look at game managers, focus on ball control and defense. They will bring back the 90s. Do you need to have a big-time quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Well, you don't have a big-time quarterback, Bob. He might be just the perfect guy for them. The Birds showed something last week by adding double trap in the run game. I saw that. Very astute, Philly Don. Very astute. The league hasn't seen this. A Hall of Fame offensive line, home run hitting running back, and a good dual threat quarterback. So you're trying to tell me that the Dallas Cowboys back in the day, they didn't see an O-line and a running back who's the best running back in pro football history? He's got the numbers to prove. You know, one thing about Emmett, one more time about Emmett. You guys may not think Emmitt Smith's the greatest running back. He's got the numbers to prove it. What do you have? Opinion? He's got the numbers. That's the one thing Emmitt Smith can say to you. Emmitt Smith can go like this. Yeah, you think this guy's better, that guy's better, Barry's better, this and that. Well, I got the numbers. You don't. You have opinion. I have the numbers, which are facts. Okay? No matter what you say about Emmett, I've got the numbers. And quite frankly, I got the Super Bowl championships to prove it too. Okay? Ambler, that's not Emmitt Smith's fault. Vic said passing is only, I heard that, and I was floored by that. 4%. He said passing is up since 86, 87, 88, his first 3 years in the league. I was floored by that. I thought the league was up big time in passing. He says the running, look at what the passing has done, though. That 4% increase in passing. Look what it's done to the salaries of players at different positions now. The running back position, he said this, Here's the one thing, though, that Vic didn't kind of clarify with that. If passing's only up 4%, that 4% has increased salaries to wide receivers and decreased pay to the running backs. That little 4% has changed the look of the league. That shows you small increments when it comes to player development. Small increments in anything that moves the needle for that league could be 1%, 2%, 3%. Changes the entire look of your team, changes the entire look of the team. Think about that. I was floored. I thought 18% more passing from 95 to where we are today in 2024. I thought it would have been up that number. No way. Vic said it's up like 4%. I'm like, wow. That 4% has changed the face of the league. It's changed payrolls, how you build a team. There's more emphasis on perimeter players now. Edge, receivers, the game's played in space. 4% difference has changed the entire outlook of the NFL. Absolutely crazy. Okay? Change the entire look. Kind of like Big Sills. No, Dan, go follow the narrative that you have to pass 40 times a game to be great. The 4% has increased that to 40% or 40 times a game. Mahomes throws it between 35 and 40. Allen has come back a little bit because he can't throw the ball down the field as much as he has to, and he has to run a little more. So he's going to be around 4,000 passing. Joe Burrow's throwing the ball at around 40 times a game. Baker's throwing it around 40 times a game. That's the percent, dude. Hurts is the only guy that throws the ball 20 times a game. None of the elite quarterbacks throw the ball like that. Goff's going to throw and have over 600 attempts this year. You're missing the point. That 4% changed the face of the league dramatically. Dramatically. I thought the number was bigger. Okay, I did. But the number's not bigger. The impact is on that 4%. Get this. Here. When people say stupid shit, we have to call you out on it. So he said Jared Goff is not throwing the ball a lot. Jared Goff right now has thrown the ball and on pace to throw the ball. That number is down. That number is down. 473 attempts. That's got to be one of his lower numbers when it comes to his attempts. And that's because they got those two running backs back there. And 473 is down from his normal numbers. It just seems to me this year has been a different year when it comes. Here, look, let me show you where even he's down when it comes to his attempts. I mean, look at this number. He led the NFL in passing attempts in 19, 626, 570, 560, 600, 600. And right now he's on pace for 493. It would be his lowest number of attempts since he played 14 games in 21. So even his passing attempts for a guy that has traditionally thrown the ball for around 580 times. That being around 493 and under 500, there's definitely what's going on, something in the backfield there with those two running backs that are having exceptional years. They're going to have two 1,000-yard rushers this year, Detroit, most likely. Get this. Dan, you were wrong about Nakobe and Nolan Smith. No, I'm not. Have you played a fucking full season yet? I am not wrong. I am not wrong. He's playing, like Vic says, a lot better. He's getting better. Smith is still undersized. Won't hold up, my opinion. And you're going to give him more reps. No. I am not wrong. You've done dick. You have not done anything. Stop taking victory laps. Last year, you guys thought Jordan Davis was having a great season after the first 6 weeks. I said, hang in there. And he fell off the planet, and he's never been found since. There's a missing persons alert out for Jordan Davis. And that missing persons has been out for a year and a half. Since he got out to that good start. SOS. SOS. Have you seen Jordan Davis? He's not that hard to miss. Except when you look at his stat numbers off a game. Oh, I know. Here's the new narrative now coming out of people from Philly talking about him. Well, he's not really going to show up in the stat chart. Okay. You mean the other guy's getting the doubles and still fighting through the doubles and being a wrecking ball, and the other guy sits back eating Cheetos and getting his ass and head kicked in? Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Hey, here's a $22 million fifth-year option. Fuck that. I'm not giving that guy anything near that. Nothing near that. Hey, you know what you're going to start calling Jordan Davis? You're going to start calling him Jordan McNuggets. Jordan McNuggets. Hey, yeah, I'll take a Big Mac, fries, and I'll take a Jordan McNuggets. Oh yeah, 24-piece, please. What do you think I look like here? I'm Jordan McNuggets here. I don't have an 8-piece. I take the 24-piece. Yeah. By the way, I'll take 3 of them. That's his new name, Jordan McNuggets. Yeah, that's the new one. Here's the new one you're talking about with Jordan McNuggets. You ready? Hey, man, he didn't have any sacks. He didn't have any pressures, and he didn't have any TFLs. But his impact is felt in the run. Okay, really? Shit, I hadn't seen him, man. I didn't know he played. Does he still have a fucking locker? What you doing? I'm taking Lamar Jackson. Let me close this topic up here. I'm taking Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry all night long, and especially in this game on Sunday. You're going to have teeny. Oh, let me take a look at the depth chart now of the Eagles here. Oh, let me take a look at this and see what the depth chart is if I'm Todd Monken. Okay. Oh, yeah. I see it. Hey, by the way, I missed two Super Chats, Standard. Hit the like button, please. Super Chats go to the top here. Then I'm going to get to them. Ken became a YouTube member. Ken, thank you very much. We so appreciate it. Davis is going to eat more nugs than Greek freak after we get this Super Bowl win. There you go. That's it. Super Bowl or bust. The Birds showed something last week by adding the double trap in a run game. That's what we do. We dominate. We dominate the women. We dominate. Sills, when you scale back the running back position, you go from having 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 3s. In today's game, 3rd and 3 calls for a slant, not the run play. That's why passing increases so small. But that small increase, Bob, has created a whole different narrative of today's NFL, man. Dude, 4% changed the face of the league. Hey, let me tell you how I'm going. We're just here on a Wednesday. This is what I'm going to do. Where's that M. Reyes? Okay, DoorDash me a McDouble. I'll take me a Jalen McNugget and a Jalen McDougle. Yeah. Holy shit. Jalen McNuggets. Holy shit. Here's how I'm going after the Philadelphia Eagles. Little teeny patty bean. Look at that. Will linebacker. Oof. And then Jalen Hunt is backing him up. I'm coming for that right there, boy. Yep, I'm coming for that right there with the third best O-line in football. Those little tiny guys right there, those little shrimpies. Hey, this is what I'm going to have this weekend. Hey, Brian, this is what I'm going to have this weekend if I'm like Baltimore crab cakes. I'm going to go like this. Yeah, I'll take the shrimpies in Philly on the edge. I'll take the I'll take the shrimp a la Jalix Hunt, and then I'll take the other shrimpies a la Nolan Smith with a little marinara sauce. How you doing? Stills, I feel we probably get our backs blown out this game. Ravens going to put 9 in the box, force Hurts to play quarterback, and that's all she wrote. And attack those edges. Hey, get this. Let me see something here with Baltimore. I got to make sure one thing, though, with Baltimore here. Hold on. Hold up. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So wait a minute here. This is the Ravens versus little tiny itty bitty Nolan Smith. Let me get it here. All right. So Ronnie Stanley is going to be lined up over Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. Oh, my God. You know what a lookout block is? Woo! Holy shit. Little tiny Jalix Hunt, kid from Christian Baptist Community Junior College down there in Houston, right there on the San Antonio River or whatever it is, the Rio Grande. And he's going to be going against Ronnie Stanley, 6'6". What's Ronnie Stanley going these days? Let me see. About the third best tackle in the league. 6'6", 310 versus little tiny schwimpy Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith. Woo! I'll be turning around going, come over here, guys. Come over here. By the way, they got one of the best centers in the game, too, Lindenbaum. That's going to be interesting on Jalen Carter. Be the best center he's played all year, for sure, is going to be Lindenbaum. Lindenbaum's turned out to be a heck of a ball player for them. So this is going to be a nice matchup, man. This is going to be a great matchup. Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson. Really? If we keep Lamar in the pocket and force him to play traditional style of quarterback, he can be beat. Dude throws so many, I hope he catch it passes. Man, he does. I'm going to concede that, Matt. He does. He'll throw one up, you go like this. What did you look at? What were you, now that you think about it, Jalen's just doesn't have the talent. He'll throw late or he'll miss it. But he's not going to throw it in like going, hey, make this play. Jalen'd rather not do that. He'd rather take the sack than throw that play in there. That's actually smarter. That's actually smarter. Dude, both plays are shitty. Taking sacks, but throwing picks. I mean, because then you look at it and you go, where are you going with that? But Slagger, Jalen likes big windows. Yeah, but get this. I think that Lamar Jackson has gotten better at throwing the ball, but not to the point where I go, if there's a small window, go ahead and weed that in there and needle that in there like that. No, I don't think he's that talented. And I don't think he's gotten that much better where you're throwing passes in there like you're Matthew Stafford or you're throwing passes in there like Burrow. He doesn't have and possess that type of arm talent. He's gotten a ton better. Monken has done great things with him, but still, he will throw a pass. Xander and I were talking about it a couple days ago. What was he looking at exactly? Here's M. Reyes. False. Hurts definitely has thrown it. Down the field, the step. Hey, Jalen Hurts is a horrible passer in the pocket. No, wait, I'll take that back. He's okay. He's okay. Nothing special. He's not special as a passer. He's not special. Lamar is having a special season from the pocket. And he's still putting up 900 yards this year rushing. That's special. Not 3,500 passing yards and 18 touchdowns. This guy's going to throw for 40 touchdowns and 900 yards and 74% completion percentage. I don't know. Where are you saying anywhere where he does anything remotely better than Lamar Jackson? There's not one thing he does better. And don't say win, because he has a higher win percentage. Don't say win. In a Super Bowl, yeah, that's the stupidest metric you can give a quarterback. I named you 15 turds that got to the game and never went back again. Give me a break. Going to a Super Bowl doesn't make you a great quarterback. It just doesn't. Seals does this every week, saying we don't do this. Next week against another team he considers elite. It was Prince. I told you 2 days ago, I don't have to be shown anything else. Your team's good. Don't get butthurt, kid. I told you have a good team. The Baltimore game doesn't sway me either way, whether you're good or bad. It doesn't sway me. You're a good team. You've got a highly talented defense that's getting better and better every week. I don't know what else you want me to say. I ate the crow. Fuck, man. Hey, dude. What you do with my boy Sills? I don't know this dude, this babyface guy. Thank you, Anthony. Hopefully BG can learn Reggie White hump move. At 38, I think those days are done. How's your weekly picks going so far, Sills? I think we're 6 and 5, something like that. Hey, by the way, I may not pick great during the week, but I pick ending results well. 4 years in a row, I've been right about your fucking team. Or 3 years in a row, I've been right about your team. I won't be wrong again. I haven't been wrong once. I said you get to the Super Bowl in 22. I said you're going nowhere in 23. This year, I think you got some chances here. I still want to see a little more. So young yet. You're showing a lot. You haven't done shit. It's improved a lot. It's going in a better trajectory than it was a year ago for me. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I haven't been wrong about how your season ended. Hey, Xander and everyone in the Philly media can cherry pick some of the things that I haven't hit on, but one thing I've been dead on is how your season will end. I've never been wrong. I said you'd get blown out in Tampa by Brady because that team wasn't remotely near ready. That's not a big take. I said the 22 season, you're going to the Super Bowl. Okay, and I even predicted Eagles-Chiefs. The next year, I said that the Eagles weren't going anywhere. So get your games right. I'll tell you how you're going to finish. Okay? Minnesota can beat Philly. Dude, Sam Darnold over Hurts, the running game and the defense. Let me tell you something. Sam Darnold, I'm nowhere near that. I am nowhere near that. Get this. Hey, guys. This guy says I'm a liar. That I didn't pick you to go to the Super Bowl in 22. And that I said you'd get crushed in the playoffs in 23 and it would end horribly. He's calling me a liar. Am I? I'll take you guys right now. If you guys call me a liar and I didn't say that all last year, all the ones that have been here every day. Wait a minute. I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to make the Super Bowl in 2022. Okay? Maybe I did pick Buffalo. Buffalo and Kansas City, but I picked the Eagles. Okay? Bills and Eagles. Okay, you're right. Thanks for correcting that. This year, you said 9 wins. Stop moving the needle. Okay. The 9 wins may not happen. They may be better than 9. They may be 11. It may happen. You're not winning the Super Bowl. How about that? How about Des, I say it, you're not winning the Super Bowl. Okay? Sills moves the goalpost. I didn't move the goalpost. If I'm wrong on something, I own it. I was wrong on Lamar Jackson. I owned it. N'Kobe's coming around. He's playing a lot better. I give him game balls, and I'm starting to week in and week out. I was exceptionally wrong about, hey, unlike John McMullen, I was exceptionally wrong about Saquon Barkley. He was never that player in New York. And anyone who saw that's a liar. He was never that guy. It's more of an indictment, not on him, but on the Giants' inability to build a team around him. Okay? When you have a player that's that good, hey, by the way, kudos to him on getting to the right team. I mean, that guy gets through the line of scrimmage, and that old line is so good, they're not touching him for 3-4 yards into the line of scrimmage. He and Henry, I mean, that old line in Baltimore is nothing to shake a stick at. That's a damn good old line itself. It's rated one of the top 3 lines in football. I mean, the best offensive lines in football right now are Detroit, Baltimore, and Philadelphia. That could all change with injury, though. Sills isn't a bird's troll. He's a bird's realist. That's all we're doing here, dude. Hey, one more time. Hey, Sig, one more time. Why would I want you to suck? Why in the world would I want you to suck? Who wants to cover a shitty team? You have me wrong. This is about viewership and engagement. Nobody's engaged when your team's a 3-win team. Unless you're the shitty Cowboys. Why in the world would I want you to lose? I want you to prove me wrong. That's all this is. Nobody's rooting for anybody to play bad, to suck. Not rooting for any of that. What's the point to that? Hey, by the way, being right? My business is being wrong. Minnesota plays a good run D. Okay? I like Brian Flores. Gilmore has played AJ well before. Stephon Gilmore is a heck of a ball player. DC has great blitz package. Their run game attacks the edges and spreads out defenses. It's a great defense. Get this guy. Carmelo says, yes, because I was not thinking that the defense would be where it's at right now. And you're at only November 27th. Hang in there because you started falling apart this time a year ago. So let's see what happens. You're already thin at edge. You're going to have a problem in this game against Baltimore on Sunday. I love how people are going to walk into this football game on Sunday thinking, oh, fuck it. No Brandon Graham. We're just going to put Jalix Hunt out there against the Baltimore Ravens, who have the number 1 offense in pro football and number 2 rushing attack and the number 1 passing attack in football. And you guys would think that's not going to be a deal. Okay. I don't believe that. If that's true, Sills, then tell us how we can beat Baltimore. Not just what we can't or their players are better. I didn't say the players are better. They're clearly not better on defense. Sills, how the Eagles win this game. It's a great take. It's a great take. All right. How do the Eagles win this game? Continue to do what you're doing. Run the football. Test them. I'm tougher than you. This is going to be a double mouthpiece game. I stop the run. I run the ball. Well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to get in a phone booth, and whoever comes out alive, we're going to fight. And whoever comes out alive is going to be the winner. Okay? I won't downplay this Eagles team anymore. Still, no one thought this defense would be this good, and the offense is not running 100% fluently yet. They haven't reached their ceiling yet. Prince, the offense hasn't reached the ceiling in a year and a half. When? Prince, thank you, by the way. Prince, when is the offense? You haven't played your best game of offensive football in a year and a half. When are you gonna? And I'm not just talking about running the ball. Hey, and by the way, Prince, I'll say this to you. I'm with you. I don't need the Ravens game to tell me that you got a good roster. Win or lose, it's not going to change my opinion. It's good. Okay, it's good. I'm not like John and some of the other guys. Well, this is going to be a real test. Yeah, it's going to be a real test, but at the end of the day, is it going to blanket the entire season on what you've done and who you are? Absolutely not. 60 minutes of football is not going to diminish the things that you've accomplished in building up to where you are right now as you've gotten better week in and week out. That doesn't diminish that. A year ago, I never thought you were that good with that record that you had. I never in a million years, because I started seeing some pieces when it came to the run game falling apart. And then when they made the quarterback change, that was self-implosion, and they panicked, and the entire thing fell apart. The attitude in the locker room fell apart. The attitude in the huddle fell apart. And then the play fell apart. Nobody was talking to anybody. The whole thing was a train wreck externally and internally. There was a lot of that was self-inflicted. Okay? I don't see that this year. I see an enjoyment in playing the game. The young guys have brought an energy. So how did the Browns beat them with no offense? Better quarterback play. Seals, you missed my last super chat. I agree with you. Anthony, Xander, see if we missed his last super chat. If I did, I apologize, brother. How did the Browns beat them? Bro, it's the NFL. Anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday. You did pick us to go to the Super Bowl after the 22. You also said we would collapse in 23. This year, they're proving you wrong so far. No, they're proving me on the defensive side of the ball, and Barkley's running ability has been better than I thought. The two things that I didn't see coming, as fast as the defense was getting better and the ability of Barkley. Hurts is still the same guy at 23. He's just taking more sacks. He hasn't improved in the passing game. He hasn't improved in pocket awareness. Okay? The one thing that he has done, he's taken and sat back a little bit on his numbers. He's going to be a 3,500-yard passer this year with around 20 touchdowns. And when you got a superstar running back right now that's carrying the mail, and I agree with Xander yesterday. Hey, man, listen, I'm going to throw right hands to you until you can stop it. If you can't stop these right hands and I can get to New Orleans and I can win a heavyweight championship in New Orleans the same way Ali beat Leon Spinks years and years ago in New Orleans at the Superdome, I'm going to knock you out with that punch until somebody proves it. I just think you're one-dimensional, and I don't think you can run through the tape playing this kind of football. I don't. Okay? I just don't. I think you're going to have the quarterback win you a game. Seals, you still think Washington wins the NFC East? I think Washington is going to be a playoff team. I picked them to win the East. Could be wrong. A lot of football to be played. You've lost a significant piece to your defense. Let's see how you react to it. Let's see how you react. You're sitting here midweek, and you're still trying to figure out who's going to take the reps and pick up the volume of play that BG's left behind now. Who is that guy? Who do you think picks up the play of Brandon Graham moving forward? Jalix Hunt? Never happened. Nolan Smith? Has to happen. Sills, this is a different team. I think so. We have the coaches. Agreed. And this year we also have a closer in Barkley. Agreed. Who was a bigger impact on this team. And I didn't see that. I agree. And leadership and building confidence in these players. I don't really think you have a ton of leadership right now, veteran leadership. I think that a lot of that has been taken away, but I think you're building leaders right now, Prince. Brandon Graham will still be around the team, but it's hard to lead when you're sitting on a sideline chewing ice and you got a coach's jacket on. There's really not a Milata, Lane, probably Jalen. The way Barkley leads, Barkley's taken over a leadership role. Guys, please hit the like button. All supers go to the top. Will the real Big Sills please stand up with no facial hair? Who's this guy, Sills? Do you think the coordinators from last year would have rebounded? No. But I tell you what, last year's passing game, outside the turnovers, I didn't think Brian Johnson, when you look at it, Jalen was throwing the ball more. They asked him to throw the ball more. This year, what they're doing is they're running the football. We're going to talk about the coordinators here in a minute. It's a great call on what you guys asked me. Okay? How do you beat the Ravens? Okay? How do you beat the Ravens? Simple. Stop the run. Stop the run. They've got some wideouts this year. The Kid Flowers is going to have 1,200 yards. He's playing. And by the way, I thought he was decent at Boston College. I didn't think he was a superstar at BC. Angelo Cataldi is going to join us at 3:30 Eastern time. I didn't think he was a top-flight kid. He looks good. I think he's going to be around 80 catches, 1,200 yards, barring any kind of injuries. They're getting the football to him. Andrews has kind of made a step backwards. He doesn't look like the same kind of explosive player. He shows signs of it, though, but he's not the same consistent guy. I think the better tight end right now in the NFC, I think it's that kid in Detroit. I think it's that kid Laporte in Detroit and Kittle. And I think Kittle's starting to run out of gas. I think the best tight end in the NFC is that guy up in Detroit right now. He's a pretty good football player. Yeah, so, I mean, how you beat them, you got to turn them into one-dimensional. And what would you – stopping Henry? By the way, I love what Vic said about him. Let's listen to what some of these guys had to say. And I love what they talked about this morning. So let's start with Vic Fangio. And what Vic said. Vic is so good at the podium. I learned so much from him. And basically, almost everything I say, he echoes. It's going to be by committee, replacing the production of Brandon Graham. So what does that mean? Committee. Alex Hunt. A new guy, Harris, I guess. Vic doesn't know anything about him. Howie's brought him in. Has no idea. He was asked today. I don't know who he is. Most effective way to win the game was control the clock and keep their O off the field. Which means they have the remedy, but you're running into a pretty good run-stopping defense. Hey, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Who would I give the edge to? I would give it to Philly. You know why? You've done it all year. Not because I think what you did last game against the Rams. The Ram games is kind of just the cherry on top. It's because you've done this all year. You're the number one running attack in the league. They're the number 2 or 3 run-stopping team in the league. We're going to find out. It's going to be a heavyweight fight. This is going to be a matchup where I think the quarterback's going to have to make a play in the air. I'm talking both guys. Okay? So here's what you have at edge. And by the way, the Ravens are going to attack it immediately with Henry and Lamar keeping the ball. And they're going to threaten the edge. They're going to see if you can set it. If you can't set it, it's going to be a long day. And by the way, you ready for this? This is not science here we're breaking down. This is not some secret attack. Because both teams, when you're physical, you want everyone to know what you do. You don't want any surprises. Hey, I'm going to line up and I'm going to fucking go right at you. Okay? Stupid of them to do what? Run at your weakness? Sure, Abe. All right. I don't care if you know. You don't think teams know right now you're going to run and you're going to run Barkley and you're going to do everything you can? The Rams had no answers. And they knew what the plays were coming. They had no answers. Running the football versus complex passing schemes, okay, is so night and day. I'm going to run the ball in between the A gap and B gap, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can run all the picks and screens and all the fancy passing routes, and you can be all that finesse stuff. When you get into a football game with a team that lines up and just power eyes you to death or just runs the ball down your throat like that, and you can't do anything about it, there is nothing you can do schematically to stop that. You can come up with the greatest schemes in the world. If you can't stop me from beating you up, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. Okay? Nothing. And Baltimore is going to attack the edges because you're small there. You're undersized. Now that Graham's out, by the way, how much is this impact of Graham's injury going to affect Josh Sweat moving forward? Does that increase his number of snaps like it did a year ago? Boy, he was over 970 last year or 980 in snaps last year. Do you start to see that increasing? Okay. Probably so. You know what I might even flirt with? I might even flirt with putting him on the strong side and moving him over. All the things we're talking about here right now are all the things that they're talking as a coaching staff. Would I move and travel Josh Sweat to the strong side of the field, which means the wide side, versus the weekend? I wouldn't want Josh Sweat into the boundary on the left hash mark. I'd want him more in open space because I need him to be able to set the edge in the wide open area of the space where Lamar and Henry do a lot of their damage. Okay? Is it BG or Carter that's been helping the edge? It's BG. It's Brandon Graham. Dude, you could stop the run internally here, but if you're getting yardage on the edge, and teams have not threatened the edge ever since they put, you know when they were threatening the edge? When they didn't have Brandon Graham starting in the first 2 games of the season. When Josh Jacobs went for a pretty good number in the first half, I think it was. After that, I think Graham started the rest of the year because they wanted to get Nolan Smith out there. Nolan Smith is not a 3-down guy. He's not a 3-down player. How about this one here? I thought this was great. Yeah, he said he doesn't know anything about this Harris guy. Which is, again, they got to get him up to speed. They got to get him in the tape and film room. He's got to watch a ton of tape. Let's see what he can do. Can he add anything to the mix? Finding a guy off the street and sitting there thinking that that guy is going to have any impact is ridiculous. I mean, it would be an absolute insane thing if that guy came in and made any impact whatsoever. Am I counting on this guy, Harris, to make any impact? 0. But they need a body. And by the way, like I said, Vic doesn't know anything about him. This wasn't like a Vic sign. This was a sign because they need bodies out there. I loved what he said about Brandon Graham. I don't want him to go out this way. I don't want this to be the last year that he goes out like that, because especially when the player was playing so well. And you could tell already, in my opinion, Brandon Graham will probably come back next year. Vic wants him back. The Eagles want him back. The community wants him back. I would be stunned if he calls it. I would be stunned. Now, if they win a Super Bowl, I don't know. Maybe that will change it. But if they don't win a Super Bowl, I got to feel he's coming back. He said this about Milton Williams playing out there on the perimeter in Graham's spot. He said not a steady diet of it, but he'll be out there. So obviously they're going to move him around a little bit, but nothing significant. Because again, remember something, they're limited on bodies out there. some guys are going to have to give snaps. What you don't want to do, I mean, I know some people want to put Zach Bond out there. Are you really going to take away from the rhythm of how the linebacking core is playing to put Zach Bond in a position where he hasn't played the entire season and take that Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond tandem, and you're going to start messing around with that by putting who in that position to cover for Bond when he's not inside? Trotter? I'm not there with Trotter. Trotter's not ready to play inside. He's not ready, nor is he fast enough to play in space. That guy has a lot of work ahead of him. That's not what I'm doing. Okay? Not at all. I'm high on Minnesota. Their play callers have balls. Minnesota, again, 304. It's Darnold. I think the head coach is a great play caller and a great fundamentals guy when it comes to schemes. I think he does a great job. And you got Brian Flores on the other side of the ball, and they're playing really good football, and they're running it. I'm not saying Minnesota's not good. Look at their record. They've beaten some quality football teams. I want to see Sam Darnold in crunch situations in the playoffs before we start going like this. Hey, yeah, Minnesota has a quarterback that has not been tested one time in his entire career. In a regular season game versus a critical playoff game where no mistakes can be made, and he's notorious for making mistakes and seeing ghosts, I'm not there. If you're going to tell me Sam Darnold versus Jalen Hurts in a playoff game, that's a non-starter conversation for me. It's Hurts all night. He's got 5 legitimate playoff games. Win or lose. I'm not dismissing that kind of experience for a guy who's playing. By the way, I'm getting what you're saying. I'm not crushing you or saying anything on it. Minnesota has played really good ball. They wobbled a little bit when Darnold was a little bit ineffective. Hey, man, I got to tell you, the head football coach signing Daniel Jones, if I'm Sam Darnold, how would I feel about that? Think about what happened. If you're Sam Darnold and you're 9-2, and they just signed Daniel Jones, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they draft J.J. McCarthy in the first round this past April? So if you're Sam Darnold, when everything is healthy and you go into training camp next year, they got Daniel Jones, who they just signed, and they drafted J.J. McCarthy, who's the future of the team. Now, do you feel, if you're Sam Darnold, that they're high on you? I would think they're not. I would think they're not high on you. I would think they still question you. By the way, bottom of the hour, first question to Angelo Cataldi. He and I were going back and forth. How the fuck is Nick Sirianni 42-19? That's what we were talking about, he and I. So that'll be at the bottom of the hour. He said Lamar Jackson's amazing. He's amazing. It's an amazing. Xander now calling him a great coach. Herb Brooks, the second. Right here. Herb Brooks. This guy's the next Herb Brooks, man. Fuck. Big old New Rockney speeches. Guys, win one for the Yipper or Gipper or somebody. Do you see Vic running the bear like he did against the Saints? Maybe. He said Lamar Jackson's amazing. He says the guy's just incredible. It's incredible talent. He says that Todd Monken's got more talent this year. doing a lot more this year offensively. He said they're very effective in that run and gun. That run and gun that Lamar runs, he goes, they're doing a lot more of that. And in that run and gun, it's almost undefensible. And you don't have edge rushers? Okay. Yeah. And Lamar's a great kid. He is, Jack. He's a great kid, man. Everybody down in South Florida speaks so high of him. Fucking hate Miami didn't recruit him to this day. I don't know what they were thinking. But then again, that's why Miami has sucked for 22 years. Because you let a guy like Geno Smith and you let a guy like Lamar Jackson out of South Florida, you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve when you do shit like that. Okay? You get what you deserve. Yeah. Oh, yes. Here's my favorite line of the day, though, by Vic. Y'all thought Henry was done. Well, they were wrong. Yeah, they were wrong. Did you see how he said it, too? Y'all thought Henry was done. Well, y'all were wrong. Oh, man. Hey, you're all wrong. The guy's a great football player. This is what he said about your boy Jalix Hunt, the kid from Eagle Creek University, Baptist, Southern, Mother Teresa University, School of the Blind. Someplace down in, I believe in like Port Arthur, Texas. Is it Port Arthur or San Antonio? What? Houston, some shit, right? He started his career at the toothpaste school, right? Colgate or some shit. So he goes from, he's a smart kid, obviously. So he goes to Colgate, and then he goes to Baptist Union University, Eagle Creek University, Helen Keller University, or some shit. I don't know. Never heard of it. It's like Division 88. I don't even think they play in pads. They play touch. Or they play flag football. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. 7-on-7 or some shit that he went and played at. So he's gonna play at Sister Union College, and in like the Colorado River Conference. And this guy's gonna play a football game this weekend versus the Ravens. All right. I'm sure that's gonna be an easy transition. Okay. Yeah. What's this? Because I bet you won't take your ass to PA, Texas, talking that shit. You get your head knocked off. Yeah, because I've gotten my head knocked off before. Never. Undefeated. Heavyweight champion of the world. You see, I'm more of a pacifist now. I'm an easier tempered guy. I'm not a hothead like Xander Krause and some of you other guys. I'm an easy guy, man. Told you, I'm a pacifist now. I'm not looking for violence. I'm not a violent man. Going to Texas? Son, I lived in Texas. Still, Sirianni might be a motivator or be able to relate to these players, but a coach needs to have position or society that he can fall back on. Absolutely. A specialty that he can fall back on. Stay out of the way. He isn't a skill. Well, no, it's ego. His ego gets in the way. Yeah, he doesn't have a specialty. His specialty is, how can I mess this series up? Still Shade's face. What? Jesus, gravity. That much of a difference? A respected man who can criticize what he loves, Miami. Hey, you want to hear something, Anthony? Second 10-win season in 22 years fucking blows. Sills, they just won 10 games. Wow. Great. Wonderful. 10 wins? Sorry. I played for national titles every year I was in college. Every year I was in college. I don't play for the Sun Bowl. I mean, okay. I got people going like this now. Sills, hey, man, congratulations. I go, congratulations on what? Winning 10 games? My God, you know what 10 games is at Alabama right now? It's what it used to be to us. You know what that is? So what? You tell a Bama fan like Xander, hey, you won 10 games. You know what he'll say? Wow, we must have really stunk this year. That's what it used to be like with us. Well, you guys, what happened? All right. Wow, you guys won 10. I got Canes fans because they're so young. They didn't know greatness. Doing this to me now. He still won 10 games. I'm like, sorry, but I don't get excited for that. That doesn't excite me. Okay? That just doesn't excite me. So if you guys think that I'm harsh on you, I'm harder on these guys. I got people doing this now. Hey, Sills, what do you think they can get to the tournament? Again, stupid comment. Do you think we can win it all? No, I don't. Why, Sills? Because your defense is not that good. You can't be run on like that every week and win a national title. The Miami Hurricane defense is not good enough to win a national championship. There. But Sills, we're good. I don't care. You play in the ACC, so what? You know what playing in the ACC is like? I mean, it's like playing Canadian colleges or something. That's how I feel about my Canes. Well, we got a shot to get to the tournament. So what? Get to the tournament. Get to the tournament. Dude, I look more for that than just, I mean, that's not how I look. The SEC is never trash. You know how you know that? Last Cub podcast says the SEC sucks this year. Well, I can promise you this, when the April draft comes, there'll be more players drafted out of the Southeastern Conference than any conference in the country. And there's 12 teams there. 2 brand new ones, OU and Texas. And there'll be guys drafted from those programs. Southeastern Conference it's the greatest, by my opinion, Southeastern Conference is probably better than the NFC South. I could build a team from the SEC to beat any team from the NFC South. Big Ten's having a good year. Okay, Big Ten's having a good year this year. They are. Let me finish up here. I couldn't believe this line, and I already hit on it a little bit. By the way, Angelo Cataldi will join us. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. But you're excited about Allen never winning shit. Jared Allen is a phenomenal talent. I mean, Josh Allen is a phenomenal talent. Your guy's a dude. So who you got winning the national championship, says Anthony. Georgia. Georgia will win it. I'll take Georgia. Bama's not good enough. I don't believe Tennessee's good enough. Miami's not. Texas. Maybe Texas. Notre Dame is a fraud. Can't beat Northern Illinois. Not happening. Penn State will have poor coaching. James Franklin is the college version of Nick Sirianni. Indiana's nobody. SMU is very fast and good. Boise State got a good running back. Clemson's decent. Bama's, I don't know. Bama might not make it. Too many losses. So I take Georgia. I'll take Georgia. Isn't it funny? People will go back and tell everybody at Miami, Sileo says that the Canes don't have a chance to win the national title because of their defense. I stand by that. Mario knows how I feel. They're not good enough. Dude, you got to show up every week and shut people out. You want to hear a stat? Xander, you'll dig this. The 2 years I played at and started at Miami, we gave up 1.2 yards a carry. You ain't running the ball on us. We're number 1 and number 2 in the country. And number 1 both years in points scored against. I think there was a year we didn't give up more than 14 points. They gave up 1.1 yards carry. That's not going to happen. That's the kind of defenses you need to have. When you got defenses like that, you're not beating anybody. You're just not. Could my Buckeyes win this year? The quarterback's playing better. Okay? The quarterbacks are playing better. Says, you on some nasty teams. Yeah, we were, man. I mean, we're just so great. How about this? Every year that I played at Miami, you want to hear this? Blades, Irvin, Perriman all made the Pro Bowl at wide receiver. Testaverde threw for 50,000 yards in the NFL. Highsmith was the third player taken in the NFL draft. Every wide receiver on that team made the Pro Bowl with 3 Pro Bowl wideouts. Sills thinks he's slick. He thought nobody would notice. He took the day off, and the Bone Crusher shows up to host the show. Yeah, get this. Wisniewski trucked the O-line. You had 140 yards and 60 minutes of football in total offense. Truck 2. Testaverde had 7 interceptions. Get this. Ambler goes, this guy ran us over. Steve Wisniewski, and he's a friend of mine. How can you have 140 yards in total offense, and we gave up more penalties? We had more turnovers than we gave up first downs and lost. We gave up 6 first downs, and we had 7 turnovers and lost. How did he run us over? We got 140 yards in total offense. Okay? How did he run us over? I must have missed that moment. By the way, I led that game in tackles. I don't remember that. Big Ten isn't doing jack against the Southeastern Conference. True. Miami back then was a culture. I hated you guys. Man, the culture was so great. Anthony, he placed this Italian guy into this culture from the South and this winning culture, and then the shit talking all came out, and nothing like it. You'll never see a team in an era like that ever again. They would never allow us to do the things we did, showing up on airplanes with machine guns, hand grenades, FBI arresting people, all kinds of charges against us. You had newspaper guys saying that Miami should take their team picture from the front and side. Alabama, they wore their nice ties and shit, you know. I showed up to a press conference in a Hells Angels jacket. Anyway, this 4% thing that Vic said was incredible, man. It was incredible. Okay? Totally incredible. You guys were villains, no doubt. Yeah, that guy that talks all kinds of shit and pushed Joe Krause around wrote a book about us. I mean, Jerome and I. And about that night. It's crazy. Mike Missinelli wrote a book on us. Kellen. I wonder how. Do you think Kellen Moore is happy with the offense right now? Sills, what player did you enjoy hitting the most in college football? Kerwin Bell from the Gators. I ruptured his spleen. And then he became a teammate of mine in the World League. I ruptured his spleen in Gainesville. I hit that fucker so hard, I ruptured his spleen. And you know how tough he was? He still played. He played through that. I think he missed the next couple weeks, but I ruptured his spleen. And I really enjoyed hitting him. I did. And especially at Florida Field. There's nothing like winning a game at Florida Field. And especially when they're good. I think they had a 25 home win streak. We went up there and we beat them. I think we have 14 sacks. Jerome, myself, and Stubbs. I think we had 14 sacks in that game. We hit him so fucking hard. I mean, really. Years later, I played for Galen Hall, who was the head coach of that Gator team. And I played for Charlie Bailey, who was the defensive coach for that team. Man, I tortured that team so bad. I had 15 tackles in that game. It was about 110 degrees. Man, I mean, yeah, winning a game at Florida Field, there's nothing like it. Angelo's going to join us in a couple minutes, okay? The entire starting offense is first and second round picks. Absolutely. And by the way, our backups won the national title the next year in '87. I mean, the backups. Our backups were Cortez and Russell and them guys were the backups. My backups were Cortez Kennedy and Russell Maryland. And me and Jerome helped recruit them, and we coached them. Seals, if the Eagles don't win this year, do we have a serious convo about Hurts? No, not yet. No, not yet. I don't think so. Not sure I've seen a quarterback in NFL history. He handed a loaded roster like this, easily the best in Eagle history. Well, this is what I was trying to do to Xander yesterday, but he wouldn't get committed on it. So I'll ask you guys. Let's do this. Last 3 years. Let's give it to them. Say they win 13 games this year, and they go 13-4. Last year they were what, 11-6? That's 24-10. Year before that, they were 14-3, right? Okay. That's 38-13 in 3 years. If you don't win a Super Bowl, $38-13 means what? I almost got there? Okay. Hey, Sills, we're hanging around. Well, you did for 5 years under McNabb. What's different here? Doesn't this feel like the McNabb era? You were great then. You went to conference. By the way, so far you've been more consistent under McNabb than you are under Hurts. McNabb went to 2 straight or 5 straight NFC championship games. It's early in the process, but he went to 5 straight. So, I mean, McNabb was by far early in this run more consistent than what Jalen's been. Am I wrong? With lesser talent. Hit this. So wait a minute. That guy, McNabb, went to 5. Once he got to the first NFC championship game, he got to another one. He got to another one. He got to another one. And then he got to another one. Hurts got to 1, blew up last year, and right now they're in the midst potentially of getting back to another NFC title game. McNabb has been more consistent. At least in the first 2 years, Hurts started taking teams to the playoffs. You can't count the 2021. They got blown out. Who was his coach? It was Andy Reid. Hey, I'm going to say this one more time to you. I used to give Andy Reid a ton of shit for his handling of the clock going into halftime, and I used to give him a ton of shit for his game management at the end of ball games. You know who covers that today? It's Mahomes. How many times did Mahomes say in the post conference that he had at the Super Bowl, Reid would call plays in, and remember he started ad-libbing and running RPOs, and Andy was even saying this. I didn't even know we had that in the playbook, and he changed it and audibled it when they were in that overtime against the Niners. This kid is now taking the offense, and it's him as the coordinator. Hey, I'll tell you what. Every single coach in the history of the National Football League that's a great Hall of Fame coach is tied to a quarterback that knows what he's doing in the huddle. And look at Bill Belichick. You think Bill sucks today as a coach? No. But when you have a Savant and Brady, how about Chuck Noll? How about Bill Walsh? All of them had a quarterback that could get them out of trouble with shitty calls. Dude, if you don't have the quarterback, no matter what the coach's record is, the coach's record is not indicated of what the team's success is. It's the quarterback that gets you across the finish line. Jalen Hurts is that record, not Nick Sirianni. Dude, I text Angelo Cataldi, and I asked him during this holiday time, and folks, by the way, every single time he comes on, his numbers just blow up. You heard the two different coaches on with us earlier on Monday, Jimmy Johnson and Tony Dungy. What had difference of opinions? By the way, we'll get to all your super chats, I promise you. They had different opinions of what the team looks like, and Nick Sirianni. I don't know how this guy's 42-19. I mean, it's a dumbass comment. I get it. I just don't know. When I watch him game manage, I go, okay, so he took the points off the board, and he did what? He gave him another opportunity for 2 possessions to get a first down. I mean, I'm like, why didn't you just take the penalty? This was just in the Rams game. Let's get to our friend. By the way, make sure you check out his fabulous blog, his sensational book. It's also on audio. He is our friend, Angelo Cataldi. And Angelo, happy holidays to you and your family, my friend.
The same to you, Dan, and yours. I think what we're witnessing in Eagle Land this year is a Thanksgiving miracle. Team is 9-2. The coach still has no idea what he's doing. You know, this is new territory even for me. I've ripped coaches my whole life. I've never liked coaches or managers. But this guy, I just want to recreate this for you there because I'm not sure you heard this. You were probably watching on NBC's coverage, which was actually not as bad as usual. Chris Collingsworth can't handle. So I put Merrill Reese on. He's 81 years old. There's a holding penalty. It's going to be a 3rd and 13. And Merrill's going, Mike, this is good for the Eagles. It's good. Mike, did he turn down the penalty? Wait a minute. The offense is staying on the field. They're going to go for it on 4th and 3 because Nick turned down the penalty. And then in something I've never seen this. He goes back to the refs and goes, oh, wait, I didn't know they were going to stay on the offense. I'll take the penalty. And they gave it to him. Right? And heads were exploding everywhere. Like, Merrill Reed's 81 years old. Instantaneously, he know you have to take the penalty. And the coach didn't know. You know, he's 7 straight wins and 9-2. It's a miracle. It can't be possible. How is this possible? Guy, he doesn't coach the offense, defense, or special team. He's got one thing to do. He doesn't even know how to do it. And he's 9-2. He's 42-19. It's a miracle. There is a God.
I don't know how he's this. Angelo, who was that Phillies manager you guys had that one they blew out because he stunk so bad, making in-game decisions? Who was that? Was it Pat Corrales?
Well, that was 40 years ago. All right. That's when I first came to town. But Gabe Kapler was another stunad. Wow, is he a beauty? All right. But the thing is, they didn't win 2/3 of their games. They weren't dominant. Whatever. I'm going to find out what church Nick Sirianni is going to, and I'm going to get religious again. Because seriously, in the Philadelphia sports, nobody has ever been this clueless and this successful. This is new territory for everybody. It's amazing.
I don't know how to cover the guy because I see all these bonehead decisions. I mean, there is no doubt this roster covers for the coach's incompetence that he has in every game that he coaches. I mean, I mean, maybe this is why the Eagles have always changed out their coaches, because they don't really believe in the head guy that much, because they think they're interchangeable. But do you believe that he costs them when it matters the most when they get to the postseason?
Well, that remains to be seen. Last year when they collapsed, he didn't know what to do. So they just flopped to the end of the season. This year, and of course, if you want to see some brilliant work, you look now you get to see this. This is a bigger picture now with 11 games played. What Howie Roseman did in the offseason is mind-boggling. The 2 defensive backs he got. Becton now on the line. The one hole in the line, he plugged that up very well. And, of course, Barkley. The signing of Barkley could become one of the greatest free agent signings in sports history.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of numbers Barkley is putting up. And I think inadvertently that Howie Roseman dick-proofed the Eagles. Like, Nick can't screw it up. He's done everything he can. He can't screw it up. And Barkley, this is all I want to say about Barkley. My son's a Giants fan. I had a long conversation with him today because I'm trying to pick his brain on what it's like to be a Giants fan and to watch what Barkley is doing now for the Eagles. And he said, how is the GM still there?
I don't know.
The GM signed Daniel Jones to $160 million, whatever the hell that was. And then 2 years later, caught him. Jones today signed with the Vikings, all right? So, and then he let Barkley go. He didn't know that Barkley was this good if you just put a good line in front of him. He had no idea. I had to watch another team do it. What was Joe Schoen? Is that his name? Joe Schoen?
Joe Schoen,
whatever his name is. Joe Schoen is awful. He may be the worst GM in sports right now. And he got a vote of confidence the other day. Things are happening in sports now, Dan. I'm not computing them well. They're not logical.
Angelo, when I was younger, I hung around the Giant franchise because my uncle was the general manager and a Hall of Famer, Andy Robustelli. And, Wellington Mara, I knew very well. I was setting up cones in the end zone, by the way, when the Eagles would come up to the L Bowl. And I'm up there and I'm setting them up and this and that. And I was around the Giants organization a lot. And John Mara is a friend of mine. And I got to tell you, I have never seen anything like this in my life. And it is such an indictment on New York. You want to hear something, Angelo? The New York Giants in the last 10 years are 51-101-1 with 2 playoff appearances. And that was with Dave Gettleman and Joe Schoen as the general manager. I don't know if I've ever seen a worse era of football since the Pisarcik era of Giant football that you have where New York right now. How do you let Barkley walk out of the – there's 2 things, Angelo, to this. How do you let Barkley walk out of the building with no compensation or nothing in return? And then how do you not build a team around this guy? And Angelo, I said if the Eagles had drafted him from his first year out of Penn State, he'd be going to Canton. What a wasted career that he had in New York because, Angelo, have you ever seen a more explosive player? Was Shady McCoy this explosive? Was Brian Westbrook this explosive?
No one. He combines everything. He combines speed, moves, power. It's all there. There was a stat. This is the best statistic I have seen this season, if not in 10 years. NBC had this stat. When Barkley was on the Giants, he got 1.4 yards beyond the line of scrimmage on a run play before initial contact. 1.4 in 6 seasons. With the Eagles so far, 2.6. Over a yard more, almost double. And I don't have to tell you, you know the game. The more momentum you have, the more likely you are to break it, which is how he's breaking these big ones. He's got time to see the field. He's got more speed behind him because no one's hit him for 2.6 yards. And the Giants never knew that in order to have a guy that's great, you got to surround him with guys who block, who can do what he's doing. And to his credit, Kellen Moore, I don't think it would have happened with Sirianni. When he was calling plays, he was in love with the pass. Kellen Moore has turned this team over to Barkley and go, here, you control the games. You get 300 yards in offense a game like he did last Sunday night, and we'll do fine. And what we're seeing right now is unbelievable. It's incredible how great Barkley is.
Angelo,
Unbelievable.
Help me out on this. When Jeffrey Lurie bought the team, was there an emphasis when they got the team from Bremen that one of the deficiencies that you guys always covered? I remember early when I was a kid, I'd always hear you guys talking about them having the worst O-line in pro football. And it just seems since 2000, Angelo, that place is a factory. Whether it's Howard Mudd or it's Jeff Stoutland, that has been an emphasis on developing of the offensive line because, like you said, I think this is the first year, Angelo, that talented O-line. I think Miles Sanders is a fine ball player. I think DeAndre's a fine ball player. But this kid's an exceptional talent that matches the exceptional talent in the offensive line. I mean, was this been one thing you got to give him credit for, the Oxman? Has this been a priority of his?
No, the Eagles' offensive lines have not always been this great, but they have consistently been good or great since Stoutland was there. And he's been there a long time. Jeff Stoutland takes guys. That's why I got to believe, Dan, that he's getting a lot of input on who to draft, who to pick up at free agency. Becton was the scrap heap. You understand? He was the bust of busts with Jets. And they brought him here. He was a tackle. They brought him here, and they handed him to Stoutland. And Stoutland took – he's now in the top 10 of right guards in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? No one ever saw that in him based on his performance with the Jets. That great coaching and great talent evaluation. And I'm not sure there's a better guy in the league than Jeff Stoutland at that. So can you imagine, they replaced Jason Kelce, a legend, a Hall of Famer, with Cam, what's his name? And they're not losing anything at that position.
I think it's actually an upgrade this year, Angelo, because he's younger.
No. What are the odds you can do that?
None.
Now, I'm not saying Howie's not good at evaluating that, but Stoutland has been the number one factor at the success of that line. And that line this year is as good as it's ever been. Ever.
Angelo, this last week obviously was a devastating loss when you lose Brandon Graham. Now they're kind of thin at the edge. You go into a team that attacks the edge, 2 guys in Lamar and Derrick Henry. That's going to be something to keep an eye on for this game this weekend here. But just give me your overall thoughts here on the loss of Brandon Graham, who, by the way, I thought he was destroying the Rams. They couldn't block him Sunday night. He was all over the place, but that's a pretty big loss, them losing him. 37 years old, he was playing like he was 27.
He's a remarkable story. He really is. And he has been a remarkable story this is his 15th season with the Eagles. And from the time they drafted him in the first round to now, he was a bust for a few years. Then I think, he started to get a little better coaching. And then he became a Super Bowl hero. And now at this age, and this far into his career, he's dominant. He was dominant on Sunday night. How is that possible? And he was this season their best edge rusher. And he wasn't taking that many snaps, but he was in the game. He was affecting the outcome of the game. This is one where Howie Roseman, he may lose a little bit of all the praise I just gave him in that he didn't see the value of keeping Hassan Reddick for another year. And Reddick is better than any of them, including Graham. I don't know, he should have never had that layoff. He's not the same player at the moment.
That's a great take, Angelo. That's a great take, Angelo, that the loss, not only with production when it came to us on Reddick, but now the injury factor and all that, and plus the failure of Huff, you're dead on. That move now is more catastrophic today than it was even when they didn't re-sign him.
Right. And that's just Brandon Graham. I had the privilege of getting to interview him every week for the last 5 years I was at WIP. He is insanely honest, incredibly upbeat, right? When I would lay on some of my negativity, he would find a way to spin it into positivity. What he does in that locker room is also profound. He is a leader. He is a leader with a positive attitude. And besides, I got to know him a little bit. He's also an amazingly great guy. He got it all. He checks all the boxes. To remove him from the field, they even said, Sirianni, in a rare moment of intelligence, said, we're going to try to take him with us on the road. We want him with his teammates. So, that's a good idea. You don't replace. I'll make. Why am I doing this? Nostradamus is back. I got a prediction.
Please.
Undaunted by my idiotic 5-win prediction, I predict that this is not the end of Brandon Graham's career, that he will come back again next season because the Eagles love him. He can still play, and I don't think he wants to go out that way. But the loss, Dan, you can't calculate the loss because it hurts you in every area, on and off the field. And I hope they can find somebody who will step up, but that's highly unlikely based on the way Graham was playing. Graham was playing out of his mind. What was going on? What was going on in the Rams that no one could block him? He's 37.
He was just getting around the horn so easily, man. I mean, it was like he just got a shot of the fountain of middle age or something because he was just absolutely dominant in that football game. I have to ask you one thing about Jalen Hurts, and you mentioned Kellen Moore. Since the bye, I added it up here. You tell me how you read this. So they're now averaging 20 passing attempts since the bye, and they're averaging 43 rushing attempts. Now, people would go, it's situation. That's not situational. That's a mentality that you have right now, that you're going into football games that you want to run the ball twice as much as you want to throw the ball. It's limited Hurts in the passing game. And even on the sidelines, you heard the players go, let's get back to our identity in running the football. When they were talking at and wanted to talk to Sirianni about it, they didn't want to throw the ball. You don't pay $51 million, Angelo, to 2 wide receivers. You don't pay $50 million to a quarterback. The owner wants a passing attack. I know you're riding a wave right now, but can you win a Super Bowl when you're not really efficient? You're 26th right now in passing. Can you win a Super Bowl with this style of play?
The 26 doesn't bother me in the least. The answer is yes, you can win a Super Bowl this way. Because here's what else they're limiting. They've been unbelievable at limiting turnovers in the last 4 or 5 games. I mean, when Hurts is only throwing the ball 20 times a game, he's not getting blindsided in the pocket the way he was. They're not stripping the ball away from him. He's not forcing the ball into coverage. All the things he was doing in the first 4 games of the season where they were turning it over, when they just suddenly decided Barkley's going to be the focal point of this offense, they removed most of the mistakes, most of the turnovers. They got the offensive line asserting itself. You know, offensive line, if they had their way, they'd run every play. They don't want to pass block. They want to run block. And it turned them into, it got the potential out of them that I'm not sure anybody has fully exploited the way they do with Barkley in that line. So I wouldn't change a thing. I know eventually A.J. Brown's going to start chirping again because he wants the ball more, but he's still putting up 100-yard game. Somehow he's still doing it. I forgot Devontae Smith was injured last Sunday night. That's how little they needed him. They are, Dan, to me, this is the formula to get the most out of what they have. Really, it's phenomenal to watch. I love the run game. I love controlling the clock. I love knocking the snot out of the opponent. I like the whole physicality of the run game. And it's never been more fun to watch than it is right now.
Okay. That being said, Angelo, I'm writing down, if this team goes 39-17 over the last 3 years and they don't deliver a Super Bowl, would this be as disappointing as the McNabb era if they don't deliver a Super Bowl because you're spending the money? Hey, you and I are always in this room because I'm always looking at the other end of something like this, and I'm finding it here. But Angelo, you spent $200 million the last 2 years, almost $500 million on payroll for your offensive huddle. You've got the most expensive O-line in football. If you don't win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years here, this has to go down as an even bigger failure of a era than McNabb's. Would you not agree if they don't deliver?
It's funny because I just did an in-depth interview on McNabb and his era for Vice TV. I went to Brooklyn last week and I relived the failures of McNabb. And the failures of McNabb, in part, were the fact that he couldn't handle that kind of stress. He wasn't able to. I don't worry about Hurts in that way. But you may not find a person less qualified to answer that question than me, since I already predicted they were going to have a horrible season. All right? But yeah, obviously, if at the end of an era like what you're seeing right now, at the end of this era, if they haven't had another parade, then it failed. Because in our city, that's the ultimate definition of a successful team. Are you going to win a championship? I'll tell you this. This is terrible. I'm saying this in the same year that I made my prediction. Right now, this moment in time, they have as good a chance of winning the Super Bowl as anybody. Look at it. Look at who else is blocking and running the ball the way they are. Who else has all these young guys now on the defense who are playing their asses off, right? Vaughn and the Kobe Dean and the new kids in the defensive secondary, Bijan and Williams. These guys are playing. They're really playing great. And Carter in the middle. Carter's having a great year. It's all there. And the one guy that still can ruin it all is that bozo on the sideline.
I call him the Grinch.
Every time he has to make a decision, it's like Russian roulette. It's like, is this the time we're going to blow our brains out? Because I'm telling you, you have a Porsche and you've got Mr. Magoo driving. That's what's going on right now.
Angelo,
right, so
I think Sirianni is the Grinch that could steal the Eagles Super Bowl. That's who I look. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm with you. They got everything going correct. And then I look over and I go, oh, shit. They've got Captain Smith, the guy who's sailing the Titanic, at the helm. I go, he knows there's an iceberg coming, and still he goes full throttle. And you're doing this. Wait a minute. I know how that movie ends, at least. I mean, I don't know how this movie ends.
Hold on. I need a moment to become the host because I want to ask you a question. All right. Eagles finish 13-4. Eagles get to, let's say, the NFC Championship game. It's a tight game against the Lions. and Sirianni does something ridiculous like not taking the penalty fourth and 3 last week, and it costs him the game. Can he be fired with a 700 winning percentage? Because I'm telling you, what you're seeing is impossible. You can't have a coach this stupid who is 9-2. It can't. What you're seeing is not possible.
This is what I would do. You know that same broom closet that Howie was in? I would take Nick and make the broom closet going executive assistant to the owner, to the general manager, Nick Sirianni, and I'd put him in that broom closet. I'd look over at Kellen and go, "It's your job." Right. Okay? Yeah. And I would hand the job to him, because if they get to the NFC title game, Kellen's going to have an opportunity to become a head football coach. And if that guy does one of those buffoon moves in the playoffs, you can't fire him, because you know why? The Yachtsman's not going to want to have that look where he fired a guy with a 700 win percentage.
You're right.
So he's going to throw him in the broom closet that Howie was in, the famous broom closet. There's a desk I heard already in there that Howie used, so he could just kind of slip in there. That's what I think they would end up doing.
You know, there's been no one in that. Hey, it worked well for Howie. When he came back out, he was a lot smarter.
Right.
Maybe that broom closet will help Sirianni. Something's got to, because the guy, he has maybe 10 decisions to make in the course of a game. And every one of them, you have no confidence he will do the logical thing. Every one. It's unbelievable how insane he is, and he keeps winning. It's driving me nuts.
I know. Hey, you and I were texting each other, 42-19. How? I mean, I wouldn't trust this guy to make my turkey tomorrow. I mean, are you kidding me?
How? How is he doing this? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I got two more for you here. Angelo, in all your years covering, the Sixers are 3-13 right now, and they've got arguably one of the absolute most talented players Philadelphia has ever seen. Now, I go back and I look and go, is he Malone? Absolutely not. Wilt and Chet Walker in 68, absolutely nothing remotely close what we're looking at here. And yet Embiid will go down as one of the greatest 7-foot shooters, athletes of all time. In your opinion, should the 76ers move off him in the offseason and try to get as much compensation as they can to try to build the team? Because he's not going to deliver a title. I don't believe.
He's not. That horse may have left the barn. You're not going to get for him what you would have 2 or 3 years ago. Look, there's one other thing this big schnoz I have is good at. It's sniffing out a story. There's a lot more to this story than we're hearing. From afar, it looks to me like he's not all that motivated to play anymore, that he doesn't have the same desire that he had, 6, 7, 8 years ago. He doesn't. It doesn't appear. I mean, this knee situation, I don't understand a condition where it never really recovers. He can play a game or two, and then it's all swelling again. And they didn't do the surgery. They didn't think it was necessary. I'm not sure if that was the right decision. He just doesn't look connected the way he did a few years ago.
He just doesn't look like he cares.
That's the thing. He's exuding this aura now of apathy, which we didn't see that before. More now than ever. George is constantly hurt too, right? The new kid, McCoy, looks fantastic. Maxey will be fine, but they're a borderline playoff team without George and Embiid. Borderline. And at 3-13, they're going to have to dig out of a hole just to do that.
No way.
I don't see it. Embiid, to me, if you ask me right now, have we seen his best days? I would say yes, that he's over the peak now and on the other side of the hill, heading down. And get what you can for him, but his value is not what it was 2 or 3 years ago when he still had all this baggage, all these problems, these injuries, these mental issues, these crazy things he was doing. You're right about one thing. They will not win a championship with Joel Embiid on the court. They will not win it. He doesn't have it inside. There's something missing. that has never fully been there. And now is more obvious that he doesn't have it.
If I could ever just like transform, great attitudes in women like a Jimmy Butler and put that in Embiid, he'd be a force. I'm going to ask you something here. Like, Angelo, I vote on Heisman. I vote on every single award in college football. Not that college football is big in Philadelphia, obviously. I made a comment to somebody. I said, and I know Doug Peterson very well. I said, if that were me and I was Temple, I would offer Doug Peterson, when he gets canned, the head coaching job of Temple. That would give it a shot in the backside. People would want to go over to Lincoln Financial. There's a statue of the guy. People went like this. And then I go, who are they going to hire? The guy from Lehigh? You're not going to do any of that stuff. Angelo, should they shut the program down?
Yeah. If Doug took the job as coach at Temple, that would be horrible for Doug. It's just not a big program. It had its moments with they had some good coaches with Matt Rule, guys like that, but they're not a Division I powerhouse. Doug, this is the great injustice of what we're witnessing now at the Eagles. If you actually had an opportunity, the way I did, to speak at length with Doug Peterson and Nick Sirianni, there is no way on this earth you would say that Sirianni could be a big winner in the NFL. And Peterson, he got 2 wins this year? He's
Something
2-9? Something like 2-9.
He's on a respirator there in Jacksonville right now.
Peterson, whatever's going on there, I can't tell you. But Peterson is a much better coach. Much better coach than Sirianni.
Superior.
And the records do not show that. So here's what I got to say. Doug needs an opportunity at a program like he had here, and Nick needs the broom closet. And maybe I would bring Doug back next year and have Nick there in the closet if Doug needed to talk to somebody. And keep him in there and add a couple of brooms so when he can clean up.
Does Doug and the owner have a good relationship, in your opinion, where they can walk back over something like that? If that guy does another bonehead move, but in a critical position, would they ever contemplate something like that? Or is that just that yacht has sailed?
That yacht has sailed. Exactly. That $70 million yacht has sailed. It sailed because the owner, Jeff Lurie, has never been one to admit a mistake. And bringing anyone back like that would be admitting a mistake. So he won't. That would never happen. But I will say this. I got to believe that when that 4th and 3 thing came up on Sunday night, that both Roseman and Lurie were looking at each other going, how the hell are we doing this with that guy making these decisions?
The refs bailed them out.
They had to be. The refs must have felt bad for him and went, well, geez, if he thinks that slowly, let's help a little bit, right? We'll give him. Oh, you're good. You want the penalty now? All right, yeah, go ahead. Move it back 10 yards. Nick thought it over now. He sees the merit in this.
Wait a minute. There was a mistake, Angelo. He thought it over? I don't think so.
Merrill Reese needed a third of 1 second to know what the right thing was, and the head coach needed about 20 minutes.
Jesus criminy, man. Hey, what a great time with you. Hey, a great Christmas gift. Make sure you get the book, or you can get it on audio. You can go to his blog. Tell where the folks can find all that, Angelo, because, again, thank you so much during this holiday time for doing this.
AngeloCataldi.com. I read every week there, sometimes positive, oftentimes negative. And the book is called Loud, and it's available on Amazon and all of the things that Dan just said. And Dan, thank you so much for giving me this forum. It's really fun. I really enjoy it.
We absolutely kill it. By the way, you should see all the people at IP and 97.5 when you come on, man. They hate when you come on here, man, and give them their spin. They really do. That means this. That means I know I'm doing it right. Angelo, thank you.
All right, the Eagles, if the Eagles are unhappy, call me at home. I got time. I'll have a conversation with you. We'll talk about it.
Angelo, happy holidays, my friend.
Same to you, Dan. Thanks, buddy.
You got it. The great Angelo Cataldi. Make sure you guys do me a favor and hit that like button. Wait, let me read Xander's thing again. Great coach. Xander sees a great coach. We see buffoon. I mean, we see a buffoon. I don't know. Hey, by the way, again, yeah, I mean, maybe that just shows you how we see things compared to how we look at. Yeah, good decision making. Can you win in spite of your coach? Can you have a successful business? Yes, in spite of your owner. I love Angelo, but he's been wrong about every coach ever in Philadelphia. I will agree on that thing on Andy. I don't see that with Andy. I actually think Andy's a good coach. Okay. Finally, I can breathe. Somebody who's here Sills. I'm so kind of hard to breathe. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Martin. You want to breathe? Open your mouth. Get this. Hey, Sills, Tomlin or Stefanski did the exact same thing on Thursday night where they took the penalty and changed their mind when the coach kept their offense on in fourth down. Mike Tomlin and Nick Sirianni don't use it in the same breath. Senorita. By the way, Battle Royale coming up. Mark gets a win over Washington. Hey, I almost want to say thank God. Almost, hey. Here. Get this. Sills, I know he's your friend, but we are going to listen to this bonehead who doesn't know shit about sports and never been a player nor a reporter in the locker room. How you doing? Laughing my ass off. Angelo. I'm listening to Angelo. Angelo Cataldi is the greatest sports talk host in the history of Philadelphia sports. Put a little fucking respect on that. How you doing? By the way, he's a paisano. Nick Sirianni's a Frenchman. He ain't no Italian. He thinks he's Italian. He ain't. I know Italians when I see them. Let me just tell you this. The guy's probably got a little Polish in him too. He's probably got a little Polish in him or some shit. Hey, Anthony, you ready for this one? When you're a Paisan, you got Paisan blood and you got the brother's blood. How you doing? What will it take to respect Nick? When he gets fired, that's when I'll respect his ass. When they blow him out. Sirianni's Polish. He ain't Italian. Man. He's Polish. Angie's takes. Be like a 13-year-old who started playing fantasy football in special ed classes. When you're Italian, you're Italian. The only people related to us are Italians and the brothers. The rest of y'all white folk. Like my wife, fixin'. My wife uses that, fixin'. I'm fixing to go to the store. What? I'm fixing to do what? Yeah, I'm going to go over there. There's folks on a hill. I'm sorry? Yeah, you see over there, folks on a hill. I'm like, folks on a hill. Okay. Sure. All right. Yeah. You said I was. I never said you were. You're the only. Come on. Hey, Anthony. By the way, hey, Anthony, I apologize about that yesterday. Not cool. Okay, I went over the line there. Okay, you forgive me, please, honey. Forgive me for using bad language, Anthony. Please, please. Oh man. Oh man. Super Bowl bound. Come on, Niners Super Bowl. They're not making the playoffs. What a fall off. How you doing? Sills with clean house as a dunk tank clown. Ooh, wow. Hey, now Feces or Forte, that really hurts. Come on, Feces. That really hurts. I mean, that hurts. Silio's so fat, if he get dunked in a dunk tank, he could clean a house. Bada boom. Yeah. Holy shit, dude. Your name ain't Bob Hope. It's called No Hope. Hey, my new friend, the comedian Forte, a.k.a. No Hope. Bob Hope, No Hope. What will it take for you to bow down to Hurts? Win a Super Bowl. Simple. Win the Super Bowl. He'll never get back to one ever. Oh, really? I love you, Ryan. It's the holidays. I love you. I don't hate you. I love you, honey. By the way, you guys like the vet in the background? I love the vet. Look at that. That's the vet. Nick is like a kid. Commercials. Hey, boss, let me work on the transmission. I always wanted to work on the transmission. How you doing? This is the dude that picked Washington. Yeah. Right. This is the dude that told you your quarterback was average. There's two things holding you back from a Super Bowl, your QB and your coach. Yeah. Duh. Yeah, I'm kidding. Let's see here. Oh, Angelo. So good to know greatness thinks alike. Hey, now that I know Angelo thinks like me and we don't think like Xander, I know where we are. Nick Sirianni, what a great coach. Yeah, I know. He shows it every game what a great coach he is. You know what he's really good at, Nick Sirianni? Hey, boys, do you need water? Or here, I'll give you a Nick Sirianni moment. Guys, this is a game that takes heart, hustle, love. This is a game that passions take over. This is a game you can't love your old lady, your dog, anybody. Fucking gotta love the game. It starts with the game. Everything else is secondary. Even your dog. So go out and win one for the Nickster. Okay, coach. I'm going out and win for that direct deposit on Tuesday. That's what I'm doing. I'm going out and winning me a football game for my paycheck and my family. I'm not winning it for Nick Sirianni. Holy shit. Okay. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is a good one. All right. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Battle Royales coming up with our friends. Philly 500. Mark Holmes. That will be at the bottom of the hour. Let's see what this guy says. MB. Quarterback and coach already got us to the Super Bowl. We lost because the defensive coordinator was incompetent. That defensive coordinator is so incompetent, he's got his team in a playoff race, and that guy has a Super Bowl to his resume. Vic Fangio's never been to a Super Bowl as a defensive coordinator in his coaching career. Do you know that? Jonathan Gannon has. Jonathan Gannon has a Super Bowl behind his name. Vic doesn't. Did you know that? Did you? Did you know that? Right? Seriously, if Nick wins a Super Bowl, will you respect him? No. He's George Seifert. Here, Anthony. I'm going to do this one more time to you before I take a time out here. Watch this. George Seifert. So, hey, Anthony, do you think that Nick Sirianni's a better head coach than George Seifert? Yes or no? Do you think he's a better head coach than George Seifert was with the Niners? Hey, Niner all day. Do you think he's a better coach than George Seifert? Well, I'm not sure you know who he is, but do you think he's a better coach? Okay, this guy says he's a better coach than George Seifert. Okay? What's the 5-year win record? Okay, good call. Let's take a look at that. George Seifert's first 5 years as an NFL head football coach in San Francisco. First 5 years. Is that what you said? 14-2 Super Bowl win. 14-2 lost in the NFC Championship game. Year 3, 10-6. Year 4, 14-2 lost to the Cowboys in the NFC title game. Year 6, 10-6, lost to the Cowboys in the NFC title game. Year 7, won the Super Bowl, 13-3. Year 8, 11-5, lost to the Packers in the divisional round. 12-4, lost to the Packers in the divisional round. He was 12-4 with a 766 win percentage, 98-30, and the 49ers fired him. And he'll never see the inside of a Hall of Fame. And he was 98-30. And you're trying to tell me with 2 Super Bowl wins, Nick Sirianni is better than George Seifert? Oh, wait. 49ers had more talent skills. Nick is better. No, they don't. Name me one guy outside of Ronnie Lott on defense that went to the Hall of Fame, that played on those Niners defenses. Name me one. Haley won 2, and he won the other 3. And Haley, Lott, and who? Who? Why was he fired with that record? Why was he fired? Fred Dean didn't play on those teams. Fred Dean was on the first one with Bill Walsh. Why'd they fire him? Oh, he had more talent. Okay. Well, you've got more talent than anybody in the league right now, supposedly is what you guys are telling me. Lee Woodall? Who the fuck is that? Anyway, dumb comment. Dumb comment. Oh, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Do me a favor. Battle Royale is coming up. According to Sills. Eagles don't have defensive talent. He's lying, but we'll let him sit there and tell lies because that's all he does. Senorita. Senorita tells lies. I got anger issues? No. Who's what did he say? Anger issues? That would mean Adeno. When you have anger issues towards somebody, that means I respect you. What would make you think I respect you? How could you upset me when I don't respect you? How's that possible? When people that are in here every day and every night come in here and say something, I've never seen you before, how could I respect you or be upset with you when I don't respect you? You respect those who you have respect for, not people you never met or have some dumbass take. Anger issues? Are you kidding me? I'm at the happiest time of my life. I got a turkey coming up tomorrow. I've got my fam. Are you fucking crazy? I mean, Matt Millen's not a Hall of Famer. Bryant Young is. Stubberfield's not a Hall of Famer. Eric Davis is not a Hall of Famer. Those guys aren't Hall of Famers. There's two on there. And by the way, Bryant Young, was he on that team that won that Super Bowl? I think he was, the last one. I think he was. Stubberfield's not a Hall of Famer. Romanowski's not a Hall of Famer. All good players. By the way, Fletcher Cox is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. Okay? He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Oh, you're right. By the way, they didn't have free agency then, too, Anthony. Everybody was a slave to their contracts back then. You couldn't leave. Look what he's doing. He's trying to get this. You couldn't leave with free agency. You can't keep teams together. That's pre-free agency. All right. Now that we put that to rest, the greatness of Nick Sirianni, the great head football coach. Okay? How you doing? Hit the like button. Battle Royale is coming around the corner. Our good friend, Philly 500, and Mark Holmes, who has something to root for. His Cowboys won a ball game. Why did they sign Daniel Jones? Okay, is that really all in? We'll get to that. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, Birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, Count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
This is pretty interesting. Big sales, please hit the like button. So Jordana Barrett, I'm assuming this is Shaq Barrett's wife. Someone texted her and said, we want Shaq in Philly. And I know that there was a conversation because he's represented by Drew Rosenhaus. She said this, Miami has his rights, but the Eagles are the ones who pulled him out of retirement. The Eagles got Shaq Barrett out of retirement? That's according to his wife. Interesting. Look at, hey, Yale, hold on for a minute. Change the background screen. Where is that? Will somebody tell him where that is? What that background is? Will somebody please tell him what that background is? It's the vet. It's Veterans Stadium. Okay? Xander goes, I'm calling fake news on that. Yeah. We're going to have Battle Royale here in a minute. Boy, I'll tell you what, if there was a guy who needed a win more than Mark Holmes, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jerry Jones, Mark Holmes, those dudes. So let me before I bring Mark Holmes in. So you could have signed DeAndre Hopkins, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones. Shit, you could have kept Tony Pollard, who's having a good year. Who else? Derrick Henry and Barkley. And you could have signed Daniel Jones. Here's why. What's all in? What the fuck is all in Dallas? Put your chips all in for what? Right now, currently, here's the Cowboys' position when it comes to the draft. Right now, the greatness of the Cowboys. Here we go. Where's their draft position? I believe they're up 12th. Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys right now are 11th in the draft right now. They got the 11th pick. The Cowboys have the 11th pick. They never had any intention of winning this year. How could they? They didn't make any fundamental moves whatsoever that would help them in any way possible to improve their football team at any time. And some go like this. Well, Sills, Daniel Jones. Well, look at the shit you have now. I mean, right now, who do you got? Okay, you got Cooper Rush. Who the fuck is that? You got Ricky Ricardo running the ball. You've got no guys playing defensive tackle for you right now. You've got good edge rushers. Your DBs are helping, and you've been banged up all year. What exactly did Jerry Jones do this year that was conducive to winning? Signing CeeDee Lamb and signing Dak Prescott. That's a remedy to not win. And I'll tell you why. Explain this to me. Jimmy Johnson got rid of the best football player on their team in Herschel Walker. Do you know what he did with that? That and a collection of other picks, he turned into 53 trades. It was the total of all the league during that 5-year span. Jimmy, who was on Monday, made 53 moves in 5 years. Do you understand the other, at the time, 28 teams? Do you understand? Combined, they didn't make that many. Here's something else that Mark probably doesn't know. He may know. Does a great job covering the Cowboys. Every single person on that trade that they made with Herschel Walker to Minnesota, not one of them ever played a single down in Dallas. Jimmy wanted the draft picks. He didn't want the players. He thought the players stunk. But it translated into third rounders, fourth rounders, fifth rounders. Not one of those guys off of that move ever played a down. He traded the best player. Do you know Herschel had 1,500 yards rushing and 750 yards receiving on a shitty-ass 4-win or 3-win Cowboy team? I think they had like Steve Pelor as their quarterback. He stunk. I was there. They had aging Randy White and all them other dudes, Tom Rafferty. They had to have a complete overhaul. Don't you think the Cowboys need a complete overhaul in draft picks? Dude, one thing the Cowboys don't do bad, they don't draft poorly. They do a night, they overvaluate, but they don't do a bad job of drafting. So without further ado, Philly 500 is going to join us. He can't be too upset. He did beat the Washington Commanders, and that's always, and by the way, I'm very glad to see that they're in conversation with the tribe out west trying to get the Redskin logo back, and they're going to have some sort of business arrangement with it. That's fine. Same thing with the Seminole Indians down in Florida. Do you know that Florida State gets 5% of the revenue that it comes off the merchandise that goes to the Seminole tribes? Okay, well, if no one else has a bitch with it and everyone's profitable and you're doing good things with it, what do you care? Tipping statues over and taking pictures down, outrunning your history, so fucking dumb, it's ridiculous. Embrace your shit. Cowboys and Redskins. Cowboys and Commanders, I feel like I want to put a prophylactic on. I mean, I do. I feel like I want to put a prophylactic on when I hear the Washington Commanders. Okay? I mean, all right. I gotta do this here, man. So Mark gets a win. And Philly 500 is now 9-2. Holy shit, is he going to be unbearable? This is going to be great here. So without further ado, it is Battle Royale this Turkey week. It is the man who is the number one man who covers the Dallas Cowboys, Mark Holmes, and he is a Philly legend. Philly 500. He joins us as well here. How you boys doing?
Yeah. I love how you just trash me, my organization, and everything else before I even get on here. I mean, literally, you done piled up. I mean, the amount of garbage you done put up is like your screen back there behind you. It's a pile of shit.
What? The vet?
Yes.
The vet's a
Hey, don't mess with that place.
That's toxic waste dump, man.
The bathroom sucked.
Oh, okay.
I hated
That's
using the
only
bathroom.
thing? Okay.
No, I love that stadium. Are you kidding me?
Okay,
I would
I'm
take
glad
that
you did.
stadium any day of the week. Mark brings fake chickens on. I bring real kittens. All right? We're talking about a real team and fakeness. Fake, real. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's horrible there. Kids are always wanted here on this program. Hey, by the way, since you have a chain around the neck of that cowboy, have you thrown the season overboard?
You know, Jerry Jones is great at selling hope. Okay.
I know where he's.
I have no delusions of thinking that this team is going to, be a playoff team and do something. I had a Chef David came over to the house on Sunday, and he said to me, what if we run the table? I was like, David, I know you make edibles. Are you getting high in your own supply? I'm like, we're gonna get killed in this game right here. And I'll be honest with you, I was 100% surprised that we found a way to win that game. Now, the schedule does get more favorable with the Giants right now, which you got Tommy Cutlets, who got an elbow issue right there. You'll probably get a win there. You got Cincinnati after that. You got Carolina, and you got Tampa Bay. You guys may have wrapped up home field advantage by the Eagles game, and then we got the Commanders with the left hand up, and they stink.
Really? This sounds like a guy who's on the deck of the Titanic hoping the boat don't go down.
I'm going to tell you, I know this guy. I know how he thinks. After tomorrow's win versus the Giants.
Wait a minute. You're saying we're going to win?
Going to start.
Well, yeah, we haven't won. Hold on. We ain't won a game at home all season.
But you're not playing a real football team.
You're not.
You know what? The way we played in some of those games, I'm not sure we'd be a flag football team.
Listen, you're not reversing this on us, dog. You're beating a shitty team.
Listen,
after tomorrow,
Dan, you put it out in a nutshell. The Cowboys didn't do shit. You're literally telling us we should have signed Daniel Jones. I mean, that's about as rock bottom as it gets.
Well, shit, Jones, your quarterback you have right now is rock bottom. He sucks.
Yeah, well, 249 yards, 2 TDs, at least in the turn.
You see,
at
it's
this
happening.
Point,
it's happening.
Okay, all right. Here's
like
the
tomorrow
deal.
when they win, Mark will start pushing playoffs. Well, if
I
they
won't be pushing playoffs.
Holmes, it's possible playoffs.
We're sitting in the 14th spot right now.
We can
14.
do it. It's going to happen.
14.
I don't care. You're going to do it. I know you. I know you too well. You're going to push the playoffs. It's
Mark,
going to happen.
5-7, and you said you got Carolina potentially there. If you win those 2 games, you're 7-7.
Yeah, I hear you. You know what? If cans and butts were nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Well, we're not talking about juggernaut. We're not talking about juggernaut teams here.
I agree, but we're talking about the Cowboys. They're not a juggernaut team either, although we will be getting some of our players back. I mean, that does help. No, see, I see how you're trying to turn this around on.
I think you should be thinking they can make the playoffs if they win tomorrow. I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Who in the NFC outside of Detroit? Watch this, Philly. In the NFC, Xander and I did this yesterday. Okay, when you look at the rest of those teams, Green Bay, okay, Minnesota, maybe, and then after that, who? Atlanta? What? What do you got? The Rams, the Seahawks. These are all guys you could throw in a hat.
I think there are 3 legitimate teams in this conference. I think Detroit Eagles and Green Bay. I think. Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, those are the 3 teams to me that have a chance going into the playoffs. Now, the problem Green Bay has is they play in a division where they could have 12, 13 wins and be a wild card team on the road going, that hurts you. That could come back and haunt them. So I think, like I said, I think this looks like a collision course for Eagles Detroit down the stretch. It just seems like we're on that.
Obvious.
Well, how about this, though, Philly? Like you said, the NFC North, you could have a team with 11 wins and a team with 12 wins, and they're both wild card teams, especially if Detroit continues to win the way they are. Let me ask you this here, man. The loss of Brandon Graham, Philly, is what?
It's brutal. I would say brutal loss. Brutal loss. I don't think it means that this defense is going to somehow collapse and it's all over. I think Brandon Graham was playing. I mean, that was the best game I've seen Brandon Graham play in 2 years.
Excellent.
He looked great. And I think it's a big loss. And I think his presence there, it doesn't help. However, here's what I'll say. I think they still got a good defense. They're playing really good. And I think Vic Fangio deserves the opportunity to find a way to make up for the loss. He's very good at taking guys and what they do good and using it to their ability. So maybe you have 4 5-man fronts. There's talk about Vaughn being on the edge at times, things like that. But I think we got to see what adjustments he'll be made.
Now, to you, Mark, what do the Eagles do that the Cowboys aren't doing as a franchise?
You really going to ask that question?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You have different buckets of way of getting talent, okay? Now, you can't argue with the Dallas Cowboys literally fighting players from the USFL. When you look at Turpin, the way he's running and stuff, and now Josh Daniels, granted, it's only his second game as a starter, but another USFL guy that actually looks pretty good in the secondary. The problem with the Cowboys is they never draft to complement, okay? They always draft to replace. Every year we end up letting go. Last year, 9 starters. And you can't look and say, well, we're just going to take the guys we had last year and we're going to take some journeymen and we're going to put together and we're going to collectively be a team. The Eagles, I envy them because when they make a mistake on a player, they don't sit there and say, oh, my God, we're going to spend too much money on a free agent. They go out and say, let's get the best player available to plug in there. Now, has every move they've made worked? No, but they've hit on more than they've missed. And that's where they realize we have a quarterback. What can we do to maximize his talent? We are the polar opposite. We literally said we're going to do more with less. Sorry, doing more with less in the NFL is not a winning.
Mark, here's the problem that Angelo brought up in the last hour, Philly. And now it's rearing its head again.
Mm-hmm.
That entire Hassan Reddick deal was just an absolute train wreck from both sides of the aisle when it came to him and when it came to the Eagles and the Jets. But now that Brandon Graham's out and you got Bryce Huff out, you're going to be playing the edge with a guy from like Christian Catholic, Eagle Creek University, Jalix Hunt. That's going to be taking reps, who's undersized. And then you got another undersized guy who's not a 3-down lineman and a 3-down edge rusher now, and a 3-down player, Nolan Smith. He's come on and played better, but he's not that guy. That move of them not bringing back Reddick is so in their face right now because here's the deal. They don't have personnel out there. They're signing guys off the street who are going to have no impact. Vic Fangio said today, hey, what do you make of this guy Harris they signed? He goes, I don't know anything about him. I've never heard of him. So, Philly, I mean, that Hassan Reddick deal is being felt also right now.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. I mean, how many times that was like the one? I thought that was one too many moves. I never liked the trade. I never was down with it. And, yeah, now it's coming back on us. There's no question about it. What can you do? I don't know. I mean, what can you do in a situation like this? You can't go out and trade for guys. You're not going to pick anybody off the street. So, you know, Vic Fangio, he's supposed to be a good defensive coordinator, going to earn his money now. You know, that's it. Got to earn your money.
All right, there, Cowboy guy.
Why am I here? Why am I here?
Because it's fun. And what we do. It's fun for Eagle fans because
fun for us.
Oh.
Wait a minute. You're going to get your freaking time too because you know how these things go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Hey, wait a minute. So
I've been bent over all season here, bro.
Look, I told you would win 5 games this year. You don't have the personnel this year to do anything with it. Okay. All that being said, so now you're talking about Jerry Jones giving Mike McCarthy a contract extension. How do you feel about that?
And here's what I wrote. This is going to sound crazy, but him saying that means he has to recognize that this whole debacle of a season isn't all Mike McCarthy, that they had a part to play in this by not putting the talent on the field. And this is where I kind of wonder, would it have been conceivable that they went and said, we're not going to sign anybody, of nature. We're not going to go out and spend, a whole bunch of money on an aging player. We're going to go ahead and take our lumps. We're going to clear off the roster, because here's the thing. Now, hold up for a second here. Here's the thing that's interesting is we've got $24 million in cap space next year already. We got 21 at the moment that'll roll over, and they can easily get to $100 million next year by using a couple of their triggers. If they decide that they want to use free agency, next year is the year that they go ahead and get into it.
35 of it goes to Micah.
Okay, but here's the thing. As you talk about $89 million for Dak Prescott, they've got the restructure trigger already set up. He'll only be $38 million.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'm just saying, hey, it's a plan. If you're looking at it and saying, hold it, if you're looking at this and saying you got a second or a third place schedule, you've got 12, you pointed out right now we're sitting at 11 for draft picks, and you got $100 million going into free agency. That's the time that you pounce. Will they? I don't know. Listen, I ain't got a whole lot to work with here. You're just sitting there clowning me. Oh, okay, you're an idiot. Well, what the fuck do you want from me? What do you want from me? My team is shit, and I'm trying to at least,
we want you to acknowledge Dak Prescott's not good.
Hey, yeah.
As opposed to Cooper Rush and Trey Lance.
I want you to acknowledge that Dak Prescott that Dak Prescott has let the Dallas Cowboys franchise down.
I'll tell you what.
Is Dak better than Jalen with a full team and a good team?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. We don't know because Dak Prescott's never had a full team.
We know. What are you talking about?
As a guy who's on a historic
pace. What do you mean they don't have a
historic pace?
How can you ignore all the years
good wide receivers
that they have?
No.
This is unbelievable.
Did you see
this guy is insane.
Bro,
insane.
Our number 2 wide receiver
in the membrane.
Washington on Sunday, Noah Brown, doing Noah Brown things, dropping passes left and right. That was our number 2 receiver. Let's see how Jalen Hurts is with that guy as number 2 receiver.
Yeah, but what about all the years that they had? They had the best offensive line. It wasn't even close. They had Ezekiel Elliott was one of the best running backs. You had Amari Cooper. No, it was more than one season. It was from his rookie year, his first 5 years. First 5 years. What happened was Jerry Jones got pissed off that he was paying all these guys and all this talent around Dak. And Dak was underperforming. So now he has to pay Dak all this money. He said, I ain't going to keep this talent on this team. He let him go.
Our offensive line has been shit since 2017. We lost Travis Frederick. Yes, we still
17? No way.
2017. That's when Tyron Smith started breaking down, bro.
Since 23.
You don't remember the Chaz Green game where Chaz Green literally gave up?
Are you trying to tell me that 22 O-line was not good?
22 O-line?
The 2022
22,
O-line.
that was pretty good, but it still wasn't like it was in 2015 and 2016. It has not been a great one. No.
All right, Philly, tell me this.
This guy's insane.
He is. Hey, Philly.
Are you – hold it. Wait, let's back it up. No, stop right there. Are you going to say that the Dallas Cowboys offensive line 2020, 2021, 22, and 23 has been as good as the Eagles?
No. I don't think
but no. Who are you
going to say? Okay. Wait. With A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, are you – exactly. That's what your guy has. Are you going to say that at any point in the last 4 years that the Cowboys have had a wide receiving core as good as Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith?
How long has Dak been playing?
I think 9 years.
2016.
How many years? 9 years?
8 years. 8 years.
8 years.
8 years. So what happened to the first 4 years?
First 4 years. First year, we were 13-3. Rookie year. Ended up losing basically a shootout with Aaron Rodgers.
You lost to the number 1 seed.
We lost
the Packers.
With Aaron Rodgers with a miracle pass. It wasn't like that. Dak went down, took the lead. Aaron Rodgers in 40 seconds.
That game.
In 40 seconds, the defense couldn't hold Aaron Rodgers and they won.
Dak started really bad.
304
and allowed Green Bay to get a lead.
304 yards and 3 TDs. If you want to talk about starting off bad, you can look at Pat Mahomes.
The
How
only
many
time
times
Dak
have
gets
Pat
good
Mahomes and
numbers.
that offense been behind in the first half?
Yeah, but they won 3 Super Bowls.
They exactly. But you're sitting there saying, he started off slow. Well, here it is. Pat Mahomes always starts off slow.
But he started slow in
ends up
playoff
winning.
games. Mark. No, I'm not talking about the regular season.
Mark,
have you
here's
seen
the
what this
problem
team does
with
as far as running the ball in playoffs?
Mark, here's the problem with the Cowboys and
Oh,
their player
Lord.
development. Wait a minute, compared to the Eagles have 1 first-round draft choice on the O-line. You're making it sound like they've spent a ton of equity here. Their left tackle's a 7th rounder they found in another sport. Their left guard is a 2nd. Their center is a 2nd. Their right guard right now, they found him in free agency. He was trashed.
And they were better at finding
now
talent.
he's going to be better.
I tell you what, take a look at the Great Wall
It's your
of
coaching
Dallas.
staff,
Hold on.
dude. You have
Thank
no
you.
offensive
Thank
line
you.
coach.
Talk to your old coach, Jimmy Johnson, and look at the guys that they ended up making the best football in offensive line in Cowboys
Tony
history.
Weiss.
Okay.
Because you had a wait.
Yeah.
What changed that? Here, Philly. Do you know what changed that Cowboy O-line? I'm going to
Tony
show you
Weiss.
this, and I've had this conversation with Mark before, but he doesn't get it. So Mark Tuney was a guy who was like a 7th round or a 6th rounder, came out of Hawaii, was a transfer from UCLA. Crawford Kerr was a 3rd rounder. They had an aging Tom Rafferty. Then they went and drafted a guy, Mark Stepnoski, in the 3rd round or 2nd round.
Who was a guard? Who was a small guard?
Then they converted to a center. The right guy was Nate, who was a free agent, a USFL free agent.
And
the right tackle was Kevin Gogan. Those guys were all, guess what? Except for Stepnoski. They were all with Tom Landry prior to Jimmy getting there. What changed it? Well, Jesus, dude, if you would have went out and got Josh Jacobs or Barkley or Henry, Emmitt Smith changed that old line into the number 1 offensive line in football because they had a premium back. Look at what the Eagles did. They had good backs. Sanders and DeAndre Swift were good. They brought an exceptional back in to the Giants' massive failure. That's why they're far ahead of you. They're far ahead of you right now because of player development in the O-line.
Yeah, because we got Jerry and Stephen Jones that think that they're smarter than everybody else, and we can just grab players at any point.
Owner and GM getting their way in Philly too, but that old line coach they have in Jeff Stoutland, like you had Tony Weiss back in the day. I mean, dude, this comes down to not knowing. Dude, you have a guy in Mulata is as good as Lane is right now. But he was a 7th rounder. Their player development in that offensive line. Hey, and I'll come over here to you now, Philly. You tell me since the bye. And you tell me, and this goes to what kind of Mark said a couple weeks ago. So you're averaging 20 passes per game, and you're averaging 42 rushes. You're 2-1. They've taken the ball out of the quarterback in many aspects in the passing game. You're 26th in passing right now. You're number 1 in rushing, and you're number 2 in total offense. You're unbalanced, though. You know, Jim, a lot of people have different opinions. Do you believe you can win the Super Bowl with that formula of not making plays in the passing game and you being that unbalanced right now? Kellen Moore hasn't improved the passing game.
You can't say that the formula is to not be passing. No, I think the formula of play good defense and you base your offense on the run and everything's off the run. Yeah, I think you can win Super Bowl that way. Absolutely.
But you're not making plays in the passing game.
Yeah, I think you are making plays in the passing game. Not every play. We've missed some plays, but I think we make a lot of good plays in the passing game. What do you mean? There's some big plays I've seen in the passing game.
How about this?
I
Mark?
think this is exactly the formula of how you win.
This. He's taken 27 sacks this year. People are telling me he's better in the blitz. He's taken 27 sacks so far. Last year, he had 36 total for the entire year. He hasn't gotten better in picking up the blitz. He's taking sacks more, which are minus plays. And you're missing wide open throws. Dude, that tight end, wait a minute, Philly. this last week against the Rams, the sack took you out of field goal position, and Gunner was wide open. That's 10 points that you took off the board, that when you get into the postseason, that dude's going to have to make plays, in my opinion. You don't think they do have to make plays when you get into
No, I do.
Right.
No, I do think they have to make plays. And I think that the window of making mistakes is drastically smaller in the playoffs. We see this all the time. So I don't disagree that you're going to have to make plays that maybe you missed during the regular season. However, I don't believe that the Eagles are not passing the ball because somehow Jalen Hurts hasn't been a good quarterback. The fact is they have to play this style of offense. It would be criminal not to play this style of offense when you have the best player in the league at running back. You've got to play this style. And this style can win Super Bowls. I definitely believe that.
Okay.
Mark? Can I say something here before you ask me a question? You do realize that this is a house of cards that you have, right? I don't mean any harm, but you guys have the easiest schedule in the freaking NFL. And while you're sitting there doing your circle jerk about talking about Super Bowls and things, when you only beat the Browns 20-16, when you beat the New York Giants, 28-3, you beat the Bengals, you beat the Jaguars 28-23, and you beat the Cowboys that literally, we are on death's door with things. It's not exactly a lot of quality wins there. And I think that you guys have picked up a little bit too much. You're getting a little too high in your supply. Honestly, looking at, and you're not going to be tested going down the stretch here, that you might want to pump the brakes just a little bit. I'm just saying. Because
pump the brakes on what? You act like we're sitting there being obnoxiously
I'm not
arrogant.
Hey, bro,
we're not.
Bro,
they're 9 and 2, my man.
I mean,
are they 9-2?
Listen,
did they lose to the Falcons? How can you possibly bring up the Falcons game and then make all those excuses about Dak Prescott in the playoffs?
I'm not talking about my team making the playoffs. I'm not talking about my team going to the Super Bowl like you are. You're up here. Of course we could go to the Super Bowl with this team. That team has not played.
The question was. The question was.
You got a one, buddy.
Oh, really?
They have not.
Oh, really? Green Bay. Oh, really? Green Bay's not a quality team. Green Bay's not a quality team. Is Green Bay not a quality team?
How'd you do against Tampa Bay?
What do you mean a lifetime ago? That was week 1.
I'm sorry, Tampa Bay.
We lost to Tampa Bay. Yeah, that was the last time. And who else did we lose to?
Who else? Mollywop by it.
Are you talking about week 4 of the NFL?
But you're talking about Green Bay week 1.
You said, I'm answering your question. Did you beat anybody good? Yes, we beat everybody good.
You just praised the big win of the week 1. Come on, Philly. You're a
No. You're twisting things. You are twisting things. You are so full of shit. It's not even funny. Your question was, did the Eagles beat anybody good? I said yes. Green Bay Packers. That's what I said. Why wouldn't I say that? Well, are the Packers not good?
Okay.
So you change and you twist shit because your team sucks ass and they're going nowhere. It's not my fault. I can't help it. But the truth of the matter is this.
Is that the only team that is actually above 500 QB?
Style of play. He asked about a style of play and if it can take us to the Super Bowl. And you interpret that as bragging because your team sucks ass. You're twisting words, Mark. Stop twisting words.
So, bro, the only team that you have beaten with a winning record is Green Bay then, right?
Winning record? No, I don't think
the only team that has a winning record that you beat.
I have to look at this.
I'm sorry, in Washington. I'm sorry. And Washington, but they're frauds too. They lost to the Cowboys.
They're frauds, right? Yeah, they're frauds, and this team's fraud. This is the same shit you said in 2017. And what happens? We went and won a Super Bowl in 2017. The fact of the matter is, this team is 9-2, and just acknowledging
and they were 10
that they're one of the
last
best
year.
teams in the conference is not a crime. It is not being arrogant. It is not saying, "Oh, we got to pump the brakes." Pump the brakes on what? We're 9-2.
Roll just a little bit on the Super Bowl talk because I think we were here. Mark. I believe we were right here last year at 10-1 before the wheels fell off the wagon there, bro.
You mean right before the Dak Prescott epic collapse to the Green Bay Packers? Who we beat? You mean that?
Okay,
but it ain't
I forgot.
Fault.
You just go well against Tampa Bay, though, didn't you, there, bro?
Dak doesn't have any talent around him. He can't help it that he sucks in the playoffs when it matters. He can't help that as a number 1 seed he lost, as a number 2 seed he lost. He stinks. But you want to talk about the Eagles and they're playing Tampa Bay when you can't acknowledge after 8 years
Tampa Bay
that your quarterback can't win a big game. Tampa Bay ain't going to make the playoffs. So it ain't even an issue.
But they beat you.
They beat us. They beat us. Oh my God, they beat us. Fire everybody. Get rid of everybody. Sills. Cut Jalen Hurts. Let Saquon Barkley go. They lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Holy shit!
I love
Big
you,
deal.
I love
Philly,
you.
Let me ask you, Philly. How important
this guy? I'm gonna be eating like Mark today after this shit.
Hey. Philly, how important is it for Philadelphia? You want to hear something? Here's a stat I brought up with Xander yesterday. How important is it for the Eagles to get home field advantage? I want you to do this for me. Think about the only teams that have ever won Super Bowls that were dome teams. Colts, Saints. Those are the only teams that I can think of that have won Super Bowls that were domes. Maybe that Rams team in St. Louis that played in that dome, but there are only like 3 teams, and Detroit is obviously a dome team here. How important is it to get that NFC title game? Because here's another little nugget. Philadelphia has never gone to a Super Bowl. They haven't hosted home field advantage.
I mean, personally, I think it's pretty important. I don't think I don't think that it's make or break, but I think it's very important. I think the advantages the Eagles have, home field, cold weather, outdoor stadium in January against a dome team like Detroit, I think would be a big advantage. I think so. So I do think it's important. Now, I will say this. I think that if the Eagles have to go into Detroit, I do think they can win because of the style of play. So I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying they'll be the favorites, but I don't think it's impossible. But as far as your question, yes, home field's very important.
How about this for Mark? Hey, who are you going to draft in April?
What? I'm not even thinking about draft right now. But
so, what position? How about this? What position?
What position?
Hey, Philly, you're worried about Baltimore this weekend, and this guy.
Right?
Who are you taking in the draft in April?
He's taking a quarterback.
I'm taking a quarterback.
Yeah,
they need a quarterback. They need a real leader.
Hey, Philly, what do you make of the Eagles being underdogs against the Ravens on Sunday?
I think it's fair. I mean, I think we're going to win, but I think it's fair. They're playing in Baltimore. Good team. I can see that. What's the spread? I don't know what the spread is off the top of my hand. No, that's just a 3-point spread is just that they got home field. It's a pick 'em game, but they get 3 points for being at home. Eagles are going to win. That's the Eagles line. I like that line.
They're 7-4.
I think that's the Eagles line.
Hang on here now. If I'm not mistaken,
they destroy the Chargers on the road.
Well, they're an 8-4 team, and you guys are 9-2. How come they're favored?
They started off slow, bro. They're getting in a roll right now.
Well, look at who they've played. That AFC. Look at the North Division itself. I mean, you're playing quality quarterbacks. And by the way, one thing I will disagree with you on, Mark, on what Philly said. Hey, dude, they shut down a guy who's having an MVP season. His team may blow, but that Joe Burrow, man, after that opening drive of 17 plays, they shut down Jamar Chase.
Shut him down.
They shut him down, man. I mean,
to
me, that's
shut
quality takeaway.
Like the Green Bay Packers shut Dak Prescott down.
I'm just saying, listen, I'll be real with you. I'm not saying that the Eagles aren't a good team and stuff, but you have to look at it when you start talking about the Giants, the Commanders, Jaguars, Some of the you played some of the bottom tier teams in there, and you don't really know. This will be a good gauge going against Baltimore. If you go through and you beat Baltimore, I will. I'll bend the knee and say, yeah,
I don't
you
need
are
to
all
see
that.
anymore. I think they're pretty good. I think this is not going to define, because I don't think you take 10 wins or 10 weeks away of football. And look, it's like you said, they don't really need to win this game against the Ravens. They need to beat those NFC teams. However, they're fighting for home field. So, you said this, by the way, they'll probably have to play their starters in the Carolina game and in the Cowboy game, because if Detroit continues to win, Detroit's got some pretty big games. They got Buffalo on the flip side. Philly. My question then comes back to you about Barkley. Dude, I mean, he's going to get 340 carries here, man. I mean, that's a ton of carries right now. And you got Derrick Henry this weekend. You've got 3 of the 5 MVP candidates. Are you concerned about the workload that he has had? He's carrying the ball around 24 times a game like an old school running back from back in the day.
I think in terms of this year, I think he's fine. But you wonder what that does, towards the few years down the road in terms of getting all those carries. But I think you just you got to use him right now. It's just too much. I'm actually really happy with the way that they've used him. They're not. If you look at the first half of this game, or you look at the Washington game, even though he didn't break 45, 50-yard runs, they stuck with the run, and this team just wears you down. This offensive line wears teams down, and then he has big yards. I think you just got to roll with it, Sills, at this point. I don't think there's no changing.
How about this for Mark tomorrow? So I'm going to ask him what kind of food is going to be around the stream tomorrow, because it's the greatness of Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito. That'll be a barn burner tomorrow. Hey, Philly, make sure you eat your turkey early, because you might throw up on this game watching this.
Yeah, I think I might even put the parade on, and I never put the parade on.
Hey, right? You might put the parade on, looking for the big Andy Reid float, big red float with them ropes.
Dallas should have signed Daniel Jones and started him just to make this game interesting.
Why waste that money?
Make it interesting.
No,
it would have made this. It would have made Thanksgiving interesting.
In Minnesota, what money are you talking about?
Still, I don't want that steak. I don't want no
sign
New York
him.
guys.
Wait, you don't really want to win, do you?
You don't want to win then.
Then Daniel Jones is not going to get to win this late in the season.
Explain to me.
But you don't want to win. You want a good playoff. You want a good
Go ahead.
draft.
What?
What is Trey Lance doing on your team?
Trey Lance was the hope that they wouldn't have to sign Dak Prescott. That's what
your
it was brought in
strategy
for.
of hope has been exactly why your team has got as many wins as they do.
Do I own that team?
It was a game plan of hope.
Do I own that team? Do I make the calls on that team? No. Talk to your boy.
But you're the one
Stephen
putting
Jones.
out eating all the food. By the way, what's going to be on the dinner plate for tomorrow?
Ooh.
Hey, Philly,
I've got 2 turkeys.
Do you think this guy consumes tomorrow?
I got 2 turkeys. We're going to smoke one turkey, an herb turkey.
You're smoking what first before you eat the turkey?
I'm smoking a turkey.
Oh, a smoked turkey. I thought you were smoking some rope.
I got a regular turkey. We got a ham. We've got sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, broccoli, and cheese.
This is going to be a fest.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of everything. We're going to put it on a sub roll, and we're going to have a leftover sub for the game.
Hey,
I think there will be probably actually BetUS. Shout out to BetUS. They actually put up postmarks over unders of feedings. So I think the over under feedings tomorrow is about 5. I already bet it. I took the over.
Any pump?
I ain't gonna be bad about it.
Any pie or anything? Surely there's some pie in there.
Oh, listen. I got. Hold on. Let me show you. I'm gonna teach. Just give me a second.
You get. The most excited you've seen Mark in years talking about food.
Hey, the only thing that I enjoyed today was that cat of yours.
Oh,
it wasn't talking about the Cowboys. Holy shit! That looks what nice. I think it is. Is that a lemon meringue?
Look at that shit.
What kind of pie
lemon meringue pie.
Lemon meringue.
My 85-year-old mother
How much that'll
handmade
be gone tomorrow?
lemon. Oh, I got 2 of them.
That looks great. That looks great.
This is the shit right here. My
He's got
mother.
2 of them.
I got 2 of them. And a sweet potato one too. Look, I've got them upstairs here. I'm hiding my pie
Philly,
up here.
is there
Ain't nobody else getting it.
tomorrow of somebody losing a limb in this guy's presence when he's monging you tomorrow?
Yeah, you're right, man.
It might be an arm or 2.
You guys were great, man. Hey, I want to tell you guys something here, man, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys doing this for me. You guys are so successful on your channels and what you do. You always find time for us here. Mark, you've taken a fucking beating this year. Like, seriously, like you were in a jail cell somewhere out west there in Cochrane, getting your ass kicked in solitary confinement. I mean, a complete beating, and you still came here. And there's Philly just taking shots at Big Sills going, we're going to win the Super Bowl, dude, and we're going to run it down people's throat. I don't give a shit what you think about the passing game. So,
and when it doesn't happen, I'll be right here laughing.
Oh, I don't think it's going to happen either, but we'll see. I mean, they're good right now. If they were good like this. Hey, well, before he goes, let's do this. How come you feel more confident now at 9-2 this year than you did last year when you were 10-1?
Well, last year when you were 10-1, you know, really, I like I said to you last week, I fully admit I bought into the whole 10-1 hype. It was that 49ers game and how that game ended that really, to me, was like there was a problem.
What if the Ravens blow you out? What if the Ravens blow you out like that on Sunday? You don't believe that?
Well, I mean, it's one thing to get blown out, but it was they were bullying us, you know what I mean? And that's what bothered me. I think with the coaching staff, I think we're much better coached. I think the defense is what? Number 1 defense in the league right now. Yep. I think they got the coaches to stop, you know, any sort of a momentum of losing and stuff. So I just think we're in a better situation. And I think Saquon Barkley is a giant difference maker. He just is.
You better have a lot of humble pie tomorrow there, Mark. When you're watching that live stream, is eating that nice humble pie there. Hey, Mark, thank you so much. Have a great game tomorrow. I think you guys are winning big. Then you're going to hear this, Philly. Well, we're 5-7, we're 2 out of 500, and there's a shot.
Oh yeah. Well, why not?
So you're telling me there's a chance.
If Tampa could beat the Eagles, why can't we make the playoffs? I know it's coming.
I do too. Really, God bless to you and your
too.
family.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Mark, to you and your family and all the people up in Vermont that like to do the maple syrup and the maple syrup Mark Holmes run. All those folks have a happy Turkey Day too. Mark, thank you very much, man, and have a great Thanksgiving to yourself. And you
both too. Same to both of y'all.
God bless, man. Thank you so much.
And I'll be watching that bullshit of yours tomorrow, Mark, when you're live streaming.
Yeah.
Make sure you do.
Oh,
appreciate
you
guys very much. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right.
God bless.
Guys. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard with Mark because his team right now is on a respirator. You know that person that sits on a respirator, he's there going like this? Can Dr. Kevorkian come in and just give me the last rites and put a pillow over my face? I feel like we need to go and get Dr. Kevorkian for the Cowboys. And Philly's like, Sills, we can win this bullshit. I appreciate you guys. Xander's going to join us. We'll read the super chats. Mark Holmes, thank you very much. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in,
Decisions,
the dark.
the dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Sills, hit the like button. National Football Show. What a week. Turkey Day tomorrow. Wife makes a great turkey. Stuffing is off the charts. Here's a Big Sills plate on Turkey Day. Big ol' ass leg. Hey, I'm a dark meat guy. Hey, just so you know, I don't really like white meat. I like dark meat. I think that's the only time you could say that here on the Big Sill Show here. I'm a dark meat guy. How you doing? Yeah. Big old dark meat leg. Yeah. Oh, man. Love the dark meat, man. Always have, always will. Yeah. Corn, mashed potatoes, phenomenal stuffing. Where's Anthony? Dark meat. Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, more flavor. Absolutely. Yes, sir, man. Then you get some nice pecan pie with some whipped cream on it. Then you turn it in there. Hey, watch this. See M. Reyes? M. Reyes, I love doing this to these people. Hey, M. Reyes, fuck you. How doing? Hey, every time I see that word from now on, you get an FU. Not you, everyone. Love it. I don't care. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, man. All right. By the way, we got super chats that we got to get to. And M. Reyes has super chapsticks to get to. Every time I see M. Reyes when he does something like that, I see this. Okay. Hey, yeah, Xander, before you come on, I want to do the super chats that was going on during the show because we got to be, we have to be consistent. Look at Philly 500, man. Thanks for having us. Hope you and your family, Xander and his family, and everyone in the chat have a great Thanksgiving. God bless. Go Birds. This guy is so freaking great to me. And let me tell you something. He has a very successful channel. He has a very successful, and you know what? I'm learning a lot from him, Mark, and Xander when it comes to, this new platform. You know, I'm an old school radio guy, and I've been involved in radio for 30 years. And make no mistake about it, these guys have taught me a lot. Philly, I owe you a lot, you and Mark. So thank you so much, man. He's really great. One of the greatest things we ever did was Xander's call, actually. You should get this guy Philly 500 on yours. You know what's funny? Xander's never said to me, he goes, hey, Sills, get this guy on. You know what he did? He did it like a tremendous producer. Now he's turning into being a tremendous on-air talent. He said, Sills, you should think about having him on. And you know what I did? Thinking about having him on? I don't have normal sports writers on in place of him. Guys that I wouldn't have passed, that brought nothing to my show. This guy brings viewership. He brings YouTube engagement, everything. Those guys, Philly 500 and Mark, create more, right, Xander? Those guys create more buzz than what Tony Dungy sometimes and Jimmy Johnson do. They blow away Ice Cube. I'm not kidding. Because of the engagement they have. And it's what people do nowadays. Hey, if I'm not going to evolve in this business, that means I'm an old man, get off my lawn guy, and I'm done. Okay? Guys who can't evolve in this are finished. And that's why we have him on, because he's great, he's kind, and he's got great takes, and he's very funny. And he's an entertainer, which I enjoy. I love entertainers. Okay? No doubt about it. Great stuff. I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button here. Xander, I think we got a couple more super chats that I got to get to. Everyone like this for 500. LFG, Philly 500, Jameson. Thank you very much, Jameson. I appreciate that. The Italian mob boss. Xander better have his money or he may be swimming with the fishes. Big Sills is Frank White. God, I love that movie. American Gangster. Denzel's my favorite actor, man. I love Denzel Washington. Man, I loved him in this, and I also loved him in Training Day. Training Day, hey, King Kong ain't got – I used to have that in my bio, on my Twitter bio. King Kong ain't got shit on me. Is that it, Xander? I think that's it, man, for our super chats. We appreciate everybody. Do me a favor. Please hit the live. We're going to get Xander on here in a minute. By the way, real quick, before we get Xander on for a few minutes, this is the current draft position right now for the upcoming NFL draft in April. This is going to change, obviously, with records and what happens in the postseason. Jags will get the number 1 pick. Who would you take? Travis Hunter. Holy shit. Florida kid, Travis Hunter, in Jacksonville. Man, if you're Doug Peterson, that's a slam dunk. He's a Florida kid. Okay? I mean, I'm taking Travis Hunter. The Giants need a quarterback. That's going to be Shedeur Sanders. The Raiders are going to probably take a quarterback. That'll be Cam Ward. 4 will be the Patriots. They need a wideout. Carolina needs probably a quarterback, but I don't know another one in there. The Titans, they need everything. The Jets need everything. The Eagles are picking right now at 29. So what would I do down there with the 29th pick? I might move down and get multiple 2s. Moving up in the draft, it would have to be an edge rusher that I fall in love with, that I really love. And you could get a quality kid down there because when you're down at that end of the draft, you're getting best player down there. You ever notice? Check it out. Think about this for a second before he brings Xander on. Lions, Kansas City, the Bills, and the Eagles are the last 4 teams. Those teams are the teams that are the best teams in the league. But you know what they also are? They're the teams that are hitting in their draft. Lions, Chiefs, Bills, and Eagles. Right? How come those teams are getting it right? And you look at the top 4 teams, Jags, Giants, Raiders, Patriots. What are they not doing? They're not getting the draft right. And that's why they're picking every year there. Okay? All right. Holy cow. Xander Krause's career reminds me so much of how he's talking about his Eagles. Man, the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. We're going to be down Broad Street drinking brewskis, climbing grease poles. How you doing? We're going to be back there doing all that. I mean, my God, on November 27th, let's start celebrating fucking right now. Holy shit. I kicked Sileo's ass so bad yesterday. He has a bloody nose for 24 hours. I was like, how do I have a bloody nose when you haven't accomplished dick yet? What have you done right now that makes you go, well, hey, we're a Super Bowl team. What have you done? Help me. Help me to help you. All right. All that being said, the delusional one, our friend, the man, the myth, the legend, the co-host, and the rising star in broadcasting, our friend, Big Z, Xander Krause.
What's going on, Big Sills?
How you doing there, Mr. Delusional?
I'm doing great. I want to, before we get into our Eagles topics, hope you're recovering from yesterday. I know it was a tough day in the Sileo household, but I do want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. You know, Big Sills, everybody has their sandbox in life where, you know, whether it's their family or their job or whatever, this is our sandbox. This is my sandbox, at least. It's you, it's John, it's all the people of JAKIB Nation, and it's my family. So you guys are the people I'm most thankful for. Alongside my family. So I can't thank everybody enough. And a big happy Thanksgiving to you, Big Sills, to your family, to everybody in the chat, and everybody that supports JAKIB Nation, even the haters and the losers.
Hey, I'll say this to you, okay? And I'll say this, and then we'll move on. And I'm going to punch you in the nuts after this when I say this.
Oh, God.
You guys saved my career. Happy Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate it very much. And, you know, nobody believes in Big Sills, and they're afraid of me beyond any. You know why now they're afraid of me. So I get it. Okay. But thank you to you and your dad.
Yeah, you're the best, dude. We fucking love Big Sills. So every time one of you knuckleheads drops me a comment to fire Big Sills, I add an extra 0 to the end of the contract. All right.
By the way, enough of that. Now I'm going to kick you in the nuts. Why do you think you fucking won yesterday? Where are you coming off with that?
We're going to, let me paint a picture for everybody. The date will be February. What's the Super Bowl date this year? February 5th?
February 7th or 8th or something like that.
Okay, so the date will be February 9th or 10th.
Yeah, like that.
We'll be parading down Broad Street. Right. And Big Sills will be on YouTube talking to 38 people. No! That's what Big Sills is going to be doing at the end of the year.
Have I been wrong every year I've been on this network and how your season will end?
You've been correct every year. But I told you on the postgame show when you got your panties in a tiff, this has been your worst year yet. And it has.
How can it be my worst year, November 27th, when things still have to play out? You were telling me the same. You were telling me the same shit a year ago when you were 10-1, Junior.
We got a lot of football left. You ain't wrong about that. No,
How
no
about
doubt.
Hey, you guys were bringing something up though this morning, and I don't remember. I think it was the Guild dude that was on with you. Do you believe they're having issues right now replacing Brandon Graham? Not just as a leader, but do you think they're really sitting back? And how does John and how does everyone think they're going to compensate? Dude, he wasn't just a rotation guy. He was a centerpiece on what was turning into really a nice season. Like, would we not really look at it and go, you know, he could have easily ended up with like 7 sacks this year.
Easily, yeah. And the production or the impact on the game would have been bigger than what the 7 sacks would have insinuated. He was playing a lot of reps, and he was very productive. He could set the edge. Now, I'm not going to be delusional here. Josh Sweat's our number one edge rusher. So we still have him. We're still in good shape with that. But, yeah, it's an uphill battle right now. I mean, you're relying on Nolan Smith, who, if we're calling a spade as fans, he's been pretty underwhelming. It's early in his career. I'm not writing him off yet. We wrote him off a little too soon early this year. Both of us, me and you both, when I was like, what the F is that dude? He's come along a little bit. Now, this is a different question. And John brought up a good point this morning. He's like, now they're going to game plan for Nolan Smith. Like, when you're the fifth guy off the bench, nobody's game planning for you. You can get around a guy every once in a while. Now you're in a game plan now. Like, people know.
No, you're in the bullseye.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, look, it's tough to replace, but what I don't think we're going to have to replace, and this is more of a testament to the player than anything, is the leadership. Because, John McMullen was down at NovaCare today, and he put up a picture on Twitter. There's BG right out in the middle of practice, standing in between all the play. I don't think you're going to lose that. And BG is not the type of guy that's checking out. He's going to be at the facility just as much now as he was a week ago. And he'll still continue to lead this football team, be a mentor for the young players. And you know what? I bet you he'll be talking to Nolan Smith and those guys in between series. Like, this is what I'm seeing. I think he's going to be the leader.
I don't know how the NFL handles players on IR being on the sidelines, though. I don't know if there's a rule if you're on IR, if you can be on the sideline. So I don't know how they're going to handle that. I still think that that's a tough putt leading from the sidelines. But again, where you're right, we're not talking about a 6-year guy. We're talking about a 15-year guy who's built up this gigantic box of equity.
Yeah.
Where you're going to be able to look over at that guy where he's seen it, done it, been there. He's been through adversity. He's been through ups and downs in his career. I mean, dude, if you really want to know an NFL career, how about this? His first 5 years, they thought he stunk and he was a bust. The back end of that career, the last 10, he's turned out to be an Eagle Hall of Fame player. I mean, you can't have it and you can't put a premium on it. Did you hear what Vic said today? He goes like this. He goes, I don't want him to end like this. And I want him back. And the guys go like this. Have you talked to him about it yet? He goes, no, not yet, but I plan on it.
I thought that was great comment.
You know how fucking amazing that is, that you have a 36-year-old guy and your coordinator and your head coach, your GM and your owner are inviting you back after an injury at 36. Dude, that is I'm so jealous.
Yeah, there's very few people who reserve that, who earn that privilege. There's very few players in Eagle history. And now I'm not the owner of the damn team, but if I was the owner of the team, and this is how I feel about it, and I don't give a shit who differs, because we had a lot of people before the season who were like, why'd we bring back Brandon Graham?
Me too.
We need that roster spot. When I look at Brandon Graham, I give him whenever you want to hang him up, you let me know. But until then, you got a contract and you got a spot in Philly.
So I think
he has that meaning though to this city. And look at like, I think they've learned from the past. Why did we let Brian Dawkins go at the end of his career? What, to save a few peanuts? To get a practice squad guy on the 53 man?
Or Shady.
Stupid. Huh? Yeah, right. Players like that. And I don't even think they're on BG's level. I think Dawkins was. I don't think Shady was on BG's level. I think BG is in rarefied air as an Eagles member, and I would let him come back as many times as he wants. I thought what Vic said today was pretty cool.
What I liked also is that, they kind of gave him the same exit pass that they gave Jason Kelce. Hey, you want to come back or not?
Right.
It's up to you. I mean,
yeah, but I almost feel like they didn't force Kelce up, but they did kind of draft his replacement, and he was waiting in the wings for a couple of years.
I'll tell you what. Well, I got a feeling next year they're probably going to draft this coming draft. They're going to draft an edge guy.
And they kind of already did. I mean, they spent a first on Nolan Smith. Cam Jurgens was what, a second rounder?
Cam Jurgens is a second rounder. Absolutely.
So they've invested some equity on the defensive end position. Now it's a deeper position. You need 4 or 5 of those guys. You don't need 4 or 5 centers, obviously. So it's a different scenario. But yeah, I love BG, man. He means a lot to this team and to this city for sure. He is the Sills, would you agree? He's the pinnacle of what you'd want any Eagle player that comes to this city to be, right? I mean, the way he embraces the city, the way he cares for the city, the way he leads the football team, the way he trash talks, the way he plays the game, he leaves it all out in the field every single time. Yeah, he's a legend, man. He might be my all-time favorite Eagle.
I
Because he's
almost,
been in more of my era, you know?
I almost respect his game more than Kelsey's game because, and I'll tell you why. I'm not saying he's better, and I'll tell you why. It's because of the journey he's been on. He was considered a bust his first couple of years. They hung tight with him. He rewarded them with good play. He had one of the greatest plays in the history of the Super Bowl. That strip sack that he had on Brady.
Yep,
People
couple minutes
always
left in the
remember.
Super Bowl. Yep.
I mean, that's the kind of guy. Again, you know what? He's not a Hall of Fame NFL guy, but I'll tell you what he is. He's a Hall of Fame person, and all of the things put together is pretty remarkable of a career. And for them to say that they want him back, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what Howie does. I think Howie knows though.
I want him to come back too.
Yeah, I think he will. Now, you know, how productive will he be next year after coming off an injury like that? I don't know. I feel like he'll still be. Yeah, I don't either. That was my point about what I said. I don't give a shit what he is.
I'm going to give a whole seat. I'm going to give a whole chair out to him because you know why?
Yeah.
He's earned the benefit of the doubt.
Agreed. No doubt about it. Like I said, he might be my favorite Eagle of all time because, you know, a lot of people are Dawkins or, you know, and they've watched Eagle football longer than me. I'm 26 years old. Brandon Graham's been in Philly for how long? 15 years. 15 years. Since I was 11 years old, when I turned on the Eagles, Brandon Graham was making plays, you know, and then the Super Bowl and all those things and what he's turned out to be, and even since the Super Bowl is, he might be my favorite Eagle of all time. And I know him as a person too. He's just a tremendous dude.
I'm biased, so I can't ever not have my favorite Eagle. Everyone knows my favorite Eagle of all time, so that's gonna.
Yeah, Jerome.
Yeah, I can't. It just is not going to happen. But
yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah,
I got it here. All right, let's get now to one of my favorite topics here. Who would you think has the advantage of the duos heading into this game? Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, or Jalen Hurts and Barkley? Hey, by the way, that's not as out of hand if you went either way. That's not that out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love our duo, and I ain't picking against them on any day, but specifically for this question, it's a weighted question because I'll take Saquon over Henry, but the quarterback's the most important guy. And you're talking about a guy who's got 27 touchdown passes to 3 picks. He's got over 3,000 passing yards, and he's the best runner in the league as a quarterback.
The quarterback is 9-2.
It's hard to pick against Lamar Jackson.
The quarterback
right?
is 9-2.
My quarterback, I know. Yeah. I know what he is. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. You're not asking though. You're asking Saquon and Jalen or Lamar and Derrick.
Well, who has the advantage?
I think you got to go Lamar because Lamar. I mean, look, Lamar is. He's going to go down. Even if he wins nothing, he's going to go down as one of the most transcendent talents ever in NFL history, and especially because think about the timing where. You know, Vic was great and Randall was great. And there was a lot of dual threat quarterbacks who came before. But this is really the moment where there's a sea change happening in the NFL. And he's been the spearhead of that. Huh?
One of those two has to win to change the narrative, though.
I agree. But
you could
Lamar's
throw Allen in there with those two. You could theoretically put Allen, Hurts, and Lamar in that room of running style, throwing guy. That you have to eventually cross the finish line because Xander, all the pocket guys are winning.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, those guys have to. Now, again, you want to hear something about your boy Zach Bond? He's rated the 4th best backer in the league right now.
Which means he's getting a big paycheck, right?
Okay. But after this game, this weekend, if you're Howie, don't you offer him? I mean, look, like I said, Marcus Hayes says that he doesn't believe they're going to offer him a contract. He's the 4th best linebacker.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
Marcus he did put an asterisk on that by saying, hey, they gave Barkley money.
Yeah. And you know, I would get him signed. I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, at what point do you look at this team? I'd pay him whatever a little bit under what the going market is.
You pay him north of 12?
I think 12 would probably be my ceiling, but I think that's going to be the ceiling in the league too. I know he's playing really good, but remember, this is only 1 year, so you can't he's not going to go in and demand Patrick Queen money or something because those guys have done it since they've been in the league. That's not, teams are going to dock him for that a little bit. And, in the new system, how good is he going to be? I think 10 to 12 is the number, and I think Howie will jump out ahead of it, similar to A.J. Brown. You think A.J. Brown didn't know he could have got 36 like CD? He knew that. He took 32. It's the same thing. Pay the premium early. Get Zach under contract. Give him a fair number, though. Don't make the guy feel like shit because he missed out on $20 million. I think that would be bullshit. And I wouldn't be pissed at Zach if he left doing that. Right. So give him the right number. But the guy has totally changed our defense around. If you can't see that as Howie, you got bigger problems. I mean, you got to be able to recognize what having good linebackers has done for this team. And by the way, Nakobe Dean has been excellent this year in terms of what we were expecting. And that's one of the bigger reasons as well that this defense is so above what our expectations were.
Playing next to him.
What's that?
I think he's benefited from the guy playing next to him.
Oh, no doubt. But yeah, I do think it's a two-way street. I mean,
he has.
Yeah, he's not been an all-pro, but he's been solid. He's been very good.
Well, he's been north of solid.
Yeah, he's been upper. He's getting up there. He's getting better, and he's a young player too. By the way, he's only his third year in the league, and he's a smaller dude. He looks like he put on some weight, which is good. In the NFL, you gotta bulk up a little bit. So, I think we're in a good spot with both those linebackers, man. I would, for the sake of continuity, you got to get them under contract. I mean, how much? Why do we? We don't want a revolving door there. It's one thing when you have Zach Cunningham and you have a revolving door. You don't want to move on from these two dudes. And by the way, I think Zach Bond fits the mold of what Howie wants there more than like a guy like T.J. Edwards did. Because T.J. Edwards was a tackle machine, but he wasn't a very versatile backer at all. No. He was a stockier dude who didn't move as well, was not good in coverage.
Passer better too.
Exactly. This guy's fast. He's good, decent in coverage. He's great. He's a good all-around linebacker. He does everything well, and he's a Swiss Army knife for Vic when he needs to be. So I think he checks just more boxes. And if I'm Howie, I'm getting the deal done. I mean, you got money to play with. Eventually, how much more money are we going to spend on our offense? Seriously. The running back is done. The quarterback's done. The wide receivers are done. The tight end's done. The tackles are done. Like, where are we investing more money?
So you're letting Becton walk then?
See, this is a tough one because how big of a reason, and John's telling me it's bigger than most are thinking, Becton's been really good this year. Really good. Brilliant. And he's a big part of the reason that when you see Saquon Barkley hit a hole in the B gap, or what's the B? Is that the B gap over there on the right side? Yeah. And he goes 70 to the house. That's because big boy Mekhi Becton is moving
people off the ball the way he moves people.
No, it's crazy. So I think they're going to get him. Look,
Xander, he's going to make the Pro Bowl at that position.
Yeah, he will, and that means he's going to earn a lot of money. But boy, it does seem like he's loving playing in Philly. I don't know. Remember Becton's in a different situation than Zach Bond. Zach Bond though was an undrafted guy. So what was he making in his or was he drafted or late rounds? I thought he was undrafted, Zach Bond.
I thought he was a late pick, if not.
Yeah, but my point is Becton went round 1. So I'm not saying he's not going to care about the money, but he's also been paid. His family's taken care of. He's in a good spot in terms. Zach Bond was making a couple hundred G's.
I might take an escalator if I'm Becton, because my question would be, what are your plans with me? Are your plans right guards don't make a ton of money, dude. Left guards
Landon
do.
Dickerson's making 20. Yeah, well, that's left.
He's the left side over there, okay? So we're talking about a guy making probably around $12 to $15 million over there if you went on the open market. Remember something. Lane makes $28 million, okay? He makes $28 million, Lane. So how many more years has Lane got? 2? Are you going to move me out wide? And are you going to go out there?
I don't know. Do you think they're going to move Becton out wide? I don't know if they're going to.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I mean, if I got Jeff Stoutland, you could put me. Hey, you could make me a wide receiver. That guy's so talented. That's how good he is. I think that's going to be a very interesting point to make here. Hey, a couple more for you here before we get you out of here.
I'm good, by the way. I don't have to. If you,
okay.
I don't have. I'm not.
How about this one here? Vic Fangio said something that blew my doors off. By the way, all super chats will be read at the end, I promise. So since 86, 87, 88, he said that passing game has only increased in the NFL 4%. I was fucking blown away with that because I thought that number was like 18 to 22% more passes. However, I think what that shows you is that 4% has revolutionized the entire league. The positions of wide receivers, it changed the pay scale there. It diminished the running back pay.
Yeah.
It changed it into a passing league. You have higher scoring, all based off of 4%. So when people go like this, well, this is going to change the league. Dude, 4%, the league is a different league than it was 25, 30 years ago, is utterly insane. You made, of all your dumbass comments and all your stupid-ass fucking takes, probably your best one of them all was this. Hey, Sills, do you think that the league is starting to go back to running the football? Because I'll tell you what, would you not agree that there's been more sensational performances by runners this year than by the quarterbacks in the league?
Yeah. And to answer the wide receiver why they're paid more, you got to remember there's other factors in that too than importance to winning football. Well, their TV, they make good TV in terms of their play. I'm just saying, people love that shit,
Yeah, they're Kardashians.
Yeah, but that's part of it. That's part of why they're making. You ask why they're making more than running backs. Well, running backs are more of your grinded out guys in the middle. But Big Sills, what happened to you overnight? I mean, if you shave your face, you got this nice fresh look, looking like a fresh Italian man. By the way, I like it. It looking good, Sills. But now all of a sudden you're making some sense here. You sounded like Big Z yesterday. What happened? Did you drink the Big Z potion overnight?
The Big Z potion, yeah. Okay, the Big Z.
Look at African Surf.
I'm about ready to fucking throw up.
Look at African Surf. Just got here. Who's this young guy debating Xander? I love it.
Young guy. Jesus Christ.
It's a compliment, Sills. Take it or leave it.
Hey, do you believe they're going to attack the Ravens? They're going to attack these edges on Sunday.
The Ravens attack our edges?
Yes.
Well, yeah, what would you do? You got Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. I'm running around Jalen Carter, and I'm trying to find the.
What do you make of the Ravens 3-point favorites in this?
Well, it's 2.5. It's a push because it's in Baltimore. So, I mean, most times the home teams are getting 3 points. It's a 2.5-point favorite right now, 3 points, depending on what book you shop. But it's a push. I mean, I think that's fair. I think the Ravens team is the best team that's 8-4. I don't know if there's any other teams, but I mean, in that ballpark, I don't think they should have 4 losses. I think they're a better roster than that.
That Cleveland loss, I don't get it.
Yeah, the Cleveland loss is brutal. Even the Pittsburgh loss, I thought they should have won that game. Yeah, I think they had a couple bad losses, but I got no issue with the spread. I think that's appropriate. I mean, you're in, you're playing at the M&T Bank. And,
should be a 6-point spread as far as I'm concerned. But hey,
yeah, why is that?
Oh, because I think Baltimore's good.
Okay, yeah, let's say.
Okay, hey, okay, let's see. All right, tough guy.
The Rams are gonna win. Sean McVay says the Commanders are gonna win. All right, dude. Add it to the list of L's this year for Big Sills.
Okay.
Dude, you need the new year to come. You need to get the hell out of 2024.
Are you ready for this, my friends? It ends in the divisional round. All right. Let's read the supers, my dear friend.
Big Sills needs to get the hell out of 2024. This dude is struggling.
Yeah, right. Okay. We'll be right in the end, as we always are.
Other
teams.
What
Big Sills is? I'm a finish line guy. I'm unlike Xander, half a race. Hey, we won. It's half a race. It's half a race, everyone.
As M. Reyes would say, it's a special season right now. Abe, other teams can't utilize Becton like Stout. See, I agree with that. I think Becton might even know that.
And to your point, does Becton go to another place with a shitty O-line coach and you go to on your face like the Jets again?
And go through the same.
Do that?
Exactly. The same bullshit. Wait, have you ever seen Mekhi Becton's chain that he wears?
No.
Oh, dude, I gotta show you it. It's epic. The big ticket, it says. I love it, dude. Look at that thing.
I love that shit, man.
Look at that thing, dude. Isn't that sick? I saw that on the other day on Twitter, and I'm like,
holy cow! I think I saw something like that down at the Hialeah flea market.
Yeah, McMullen says he saw that sucker in person. That thing looks good in person too.
Yeah.
Sure, that thing's got some bling on it, but I love that chain. Yeah, we'll say.
I like that
big ticket.
Big ticket.
Yeah, it's a good nickname for him.
Yeah.
Big C checks in. Big C, thanks. I think you became a member earlier today. Thank you, brother. Sills, why not front load Bond's contract? That's what Howie will do. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what Howie
so
will
yeah,
do.
so the cap hits aren't high. Yes, that's what
Yeah,
they'll
he
do.
always does that. He'll
Yep.
do that. And that's a credit to Lurie for sure. Jason Gates, do the Birds call JPP, Jason Pierre Paul, happy Thanksgiving? Jason, happy Thanksgiving.
No, they don't do that. And they don't call Jason Pierre Three Fingers. No, they
Yeah, what's up with people and fireworks? Why can't people figure out how to just not mess
stay away
with
from that
fireworks?
shit. Just stay away from it.
Me too. Yeah, you and me both, dog.
Hey,
If there's a
so I'm
fireworks
walking
show,
around.
I'll watch, but I'm gonna stand 100 yards away.
This is how I sign my contract now
man.
on. If I'm Jason Pierre Paul, look.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know. Can he still play? I don't know, Jason.
No, I'm not
We're
interested.
throwing a lot of darts. You know,
I'm not interested in that.
I'm a little nervous about what's happening though with the injuries. I mean,
Yeah.
if
Well,
we get another, you
let's
get
see what
another
happens.
injury on defense, you might be in some trouble. So we'll see though. I think we're in an all right spot right now, but we definitely got to keep it up. All right, that's all the supers.
All right,
Oh wait,
man.
no, we got more. We got new ones. Twiz says, "You ready for after Sunday? Sills, the number 1 jersey going to look good on you."
Number 1 jersey. Who wears number 1?
Twiz thinks I'm buying you a Jalen Hurts jersey. Is
Hey,
he crazy?
Twiz. Who's? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The average quarterback. I forgot. That's right. Mr. Hurts. Tyrod Hurts.
Oh, I didn't notice that's your profile pic, Flex. He said that's why he's my profile pic. They look at a big ticket, the picture.
Oh, I love that, man. That looks good. All right.
Big C says they could see Becton as lane replacement with Steen. That's fair point.
Playing guard.
I was
yeah.
thinking they probably
Yeah,
wouldn't move
Keegan.
Becton out there, but
I like
maybe
to
with
keep
Steen.
Keegan too.
Yeah, we'll see about him. I don't know what they're thinking of him. I mean, they obviously, they kept him around. So
Yeah, whatever. Hey, you know what week is, Jack? Krause's fucking takes. That's what's weak. Go ahead.
dude, you sound like me from yesterday. You must have rewatched that segment and taken notes.
Why would I watch a segment I annihilated you in? Why would I watch a segment like
Oh my god, I destroyed big.
doing anything tomorrow?
I destroyed old man Sill so bad. He said, "I got to become a young man again."
Are we doing anything tomorrow?
Yeah, let's do a 30-minute segment, 10 a.m. Eastern.
Good. That doesn't go into my Corona. 7
10 a.m. Eastern. That's 7. Is that too early for you? You want to do 11?
No. I'm up for that.
7 a.m.
Yeah. And what do you think I do around here, homeboy? You
I'm
think I
not
get
sure
up
what
at
the
2 minutes
fuck you
before the
do.
show starts? They're ridiculous.
I'm not sure what that. You show up at 59, and then people get on my ass because we're 4 minutes late. I said you should have told
never
Sil
late.
to check in a little earlier.
I'm never late. I'm up.
You know, back when we first started this show, and Sills didn't have so much slack, he used to check in at around 150. Make sure he was ready. Make sure the mic was working. Now it's like 59 and 48 seconds. He comes on and then he's like, wants to talk to me and have a
new
powwow.
background. Xander's like, give me a fucking
I'm
heads
like,
up.
yo,
on the
asshole,
back."
we're on the clock. I'm trying to make some money. Holy shit.
Let me take a timeout. I got to take one timeout. My ass is killing me.
All
I
right,
gotta get up.
good stuff, everybody. Thank you all. Happy
By the
Thanksgiving.
way, Xander, happy Thanksgiving, man, for you guys. We'll talk tomorrow. So we're going to do something probably at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we'll do a little Turkey Day special.
Yeah, we'll do a Turkey Day, getting ready for the games going into that's before the games, right?
Yeah, 10. Yeah, what time are the games tomorrow?
Yeah,
They
make sure
start
they're
early on Thanksgiving. I know that, right?
Yeah, make sure they're before the games. I don't want to do it during the games.
I know you don't, Sileo. Oh my god.
No. I want to have kind of like some people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're good. 12:30. The first game is
Okay, good.
Eastern.
All
So that's eight. That's what 9:30 your time. Yeah, we'll be good.
I'm hooking you up right here on like how to program, son. I'm here to help.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a helper. By the way, it's a Philly 500 and Holmes awesome.
Yeah, they're I love them both. I love
Yep.
them both. I actually get a kick out of Mark Holmes' channel. I watch it often. I find myself watching Mark Holmes probably more than I'd like to admit. He's very funny. And when you watch the Cowboys in destruction mode, it's very funny to entertaining.
I
to
bet
watch
it
a
is.
Cowboy fan.
I bet. All right, Xander, let me take a timeout. I appreciate
All right,
it.
thanks everybody. Appreciate you guys, all you guys.
You guys were awesome. Thank you so much, Xander, very much. Please hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFC selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services. The first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Sills National Football Show. Hope everyone has a fabulous Thanksgiving. And we appreciate everybody. By the way, Xander, in the timeout, did we miss any super chats or anybody throw? The Sill Shave face art must be studied. Yeah. That's a handsome fella. Hey, Sue, how you doing? I'm sorry, Sue. Hold up, Xander. Why are you buying the jersey? It's between me and Sills. This goofy ass bet me. Don't back out now. Twiz. Take a knee, kid. Take a knee. All right? Take a knee. Holy shit. Hey, by the way, I posted something. I pray to God that they go back to the Redskins name. I want them to go back to the Redskin name. They're now in talks with trying to get that thing back. That would be so awesome for Washington and their fans. The Cleveland Guardians is like seriously, I think of a prophylactic. I do. I mean, the Cleveland Rubbers. Now, look, if the tribe that the American Indians, by the way, let me just tell you this. The American Indians in many of the states in America have profited big time. Look at the state of Florida, Seminole Indians. You know that they are the most powerful group of folks in sports in the state of Florida because of the reservations. instead of being and not having anything of economic on it, they decided to put up hotels on it. And they're not governed by the government. Do you know the money that the Seminole Indian tribe make in the state of Florida? There's no business in Florida that makes more money than the Seminole Indians. Same thing with the Californian folks. So the Indians have taken these, Native Americans have taken these Indian reservations and they put casinos on them. Kudos. Way to go. Instead of having poverty in it, they turned it into economic success. Great. And now that you have the Redskins, you have the Cleveland Indians. I don't know why. By the way, do you ever think you'll ever see the tomahawk chop go away from the Kansas City Chiefs or the Atlanta Braves? Not doing that. Imagine the Braves changing their name. Not happening. You could take the World Series or the All-Star game it was out of Atlanta. You ain't changing that Atlanta Braves name. And nor would I want you to. Nor would I want you to. I don't know how our country got there. I think that's an offensive name. Well, who's it offensive to? You or the Native Americans? Now, if the Native Americans have a problem with it, then we have a different conversation. But if the Native Americans don't have a problem with it and you're paying them so that you could use that logo, how is that a bad thing? It's called capitalism. Okay? It's called capitalism. Okay? Gobble, gobble, gobble. I took the bet as well. Jalen. Ugh. James, the only reason that this show is awesome is because of the people that want to come on it, which is you, because you keep the show going because you're here and you put up the super chats, the viewership. We can't do this without you. Hey, I know all these people, Tony Dungy, but if I've got no one to put them on for, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? What's the point? But that's what WIP and 97.5 in Philadelphia will never tell you guys, how important you guys are. I know that. By the way, I'll tell you one thing you guys have also showed me. Don't put on shitty content. Don't start talking college football in Philly. You don't care. I don't give a shit about anything else but Eagles and football. No, it could be any NFL team. Okay? Guys are great. I can't thank you guys enough. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for so many things. I'm thankful for my aunt. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the Krauses for giving me this opportunity and platform. I'm thanking all of you for making it happen. Thank you guys very much, man. I really appreciate it. You guys have been sensational. Have a great weekend. I think we're doing a 30-minute show tomorrow. That'll be at 10 Eastern time. So we'll do I think we're doing, right, Xander? We're going to probably do like a 30-minute show, kind of like a pregame, getting you ready for your turkey football. And everyone have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have yourselves a great gobble day. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the flip side.